GDP. So it's, the public and private debt is around 110% versus the European average, which is around. So there's plenty of room as the global economies, could, if they do slow down, the government has got plenty of room to maneuver. But what you have in Poland is you've got years, 28 years of a positive GDP growth. Last year's GDP growth was 5.1%.
Uninterrupted growth. The last one I remember, I think, is Australia.
Australia and Poland are equally matched. They've been growing at a lower base, but there are only actually two countries in the world that have seen that consecutive growth.
I mean, I really found Professor Walker's briefing on the Polish economy fascinating. I mean, it sounds like a great place to be for a retail shopping center operator. GDP of 5%, consumption expenditure growing at a similar clip. Where do your contractual escalation rates sit, and how do you see those evolving over time in that context?
We have a CPI index in all of our NOI growth of 4.2%. We asked working our assets.
And just to follow on from that, I mean, your vacancy rate seems exceptionally low at 40 basis points. I mean, how sustainable is that?
Well, in a growing economy where, it's not just, there's a lot of foreign direct investment, but it's really a consumer-led growth economy. So when you have this emergence of this middle class that is beginning to consume like Western Europeans, I believe it's sustainable. It's, what we have is we have a 99.4% occupancy rate, so vacant units that are already leased. So we have a high occupancy.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you're painting a picture of a continuing opportunity here in Poland. And yet we did hear the briefing today by the ECB President Mario Draghi speaking about lower growth potentially going forward. And at the same time, we've also heard about fears that global growth may well be plateauing. We could be perhaps seeing things decelerating a little bit. Do you see potential rate returns like you've just done?
Well, obviously, if Germany and the Netherlands do slow down, I mean, they're our biggest exporters. That's where Poland exports. But when you say, when the ECB were announcing this today, but
today, yes,
2 weeks ago, they also announced that they were their policy. So that directly on cost of finance too. So everyone was interest rates, but actually, I think the European Central Bank is concerned about the state of the European economy. So that actually may help Poland further.
So what's your strategy going forward now in terms of that focus on Poland?
Well, we're going to continue. I mean, it's a big market. It's 40 million people. We have 100 million people coming through our shopping centers a year. By 2020, we're going to have 120 million people coming through our shopping centers. And we believe that if they're going to be investing in, you've got to be looking at where you're going to get long-term growth. And Poland's salaries are less than a third of what they are in Germany. It's 1,000 euros versus 3,500 euros in Germany. So there's a lot of room for growth.
Us through the sub, because that's a peculiar dynamic that you're dealing with at the moment.
Yes.
How's that playing out on the ground in your centers?
So last year, we lost 28 Sundays because every second Sunday was closed in Poland. And what that meant is that we had to, but the food and beverage and entertainment is opened in our shopping centers. So clearly that did have impact, but we still saw positive growth in footfall. We still saw in sales. And what we can see in our numbers in the last quarter of 2018 and what we can see in January and February is we're already seeing increased growth in the last, let's say.
Grow distributions this year, potentially. Can you just talk us through that dynamic?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, as a business, one is your LTV, and secondly is your dividend per share growth. And the two, unfortunately, are not mutually exclusive. So you have to choose one or two, let's say lower our LTV, whilst keeping our guidance, flat or positive.
Hello and welcome to a Closing Bell South Africa. I'm Arnold Segawa. Coming up in the next 1 hour, quick look at what is making news that is, of course, relevant to the Southern African market. To start with, the global headwinds yet again finding their way onto the South African just the equity space, but also some bonds, some fixed income. Not forgetting the rand itself, we did see yet another vote yesterday. That's of course in the House of Commons, and that we were quite surprised, if you ask anyone, how much the pound was relatively unmoved. But the rand, on the other hand, did feel the pinch. We'll be speaking to us on that particular one on the currency front. Show a quick look at some company results. Exaro will be here with the CEO to just give us a sense of the latest results. Dividends are relatively up, the revenues are up, but the future holds for call. All the tough questions are going to the CEO later on in the show. Also on the show, we'll be hearing from that particular Steinhoff report. Now, we have waited for this longer than Santa Claus, and it's finally here. It will actually be unveiled tomorrow, but we do have a sneak peek into some of the nitty-gritties here. Fascinating to know whether or not Marcus Euster was getting out of the country with all those suitcases with the money. Of course, those are unconfirmed reports. That's what is in the media right now. Also on the show, a quick look at the global headwinds and the global markets. Naeem Aslam will be joining us for that and more. Remember, you can be part of the conversation here at Twitter at CNBC Africa. First, let's see what's making news. Right, let's get right into it. U.S. President Donald Trump says he was in no rush to complete the trade pact with China and insists that any deal includes, which does not rather include protection for intellectual, was most at the earliest. Across the Atlantic into Britain, now the Parliament was due to vote on seeking a last-minute Brexit delay, and Prime Minister Theresa May sought to use the prospect of a long extension to push lawmaking. January, right, there you have it. Let's have a look at how the markets are faring. Right, there you have it. Joining me now for Markets Wrap is Naeem Aslam, who's the chief market analyst at Think Markets UK Limited. Naeem, always good to have you on the show. Great jacket. Yeah. Let's just get right into it. Yesterday's vote took all of us by, well, not much of a surprise, but really shocked many of us was what happened with the pound. It's like investors are used to Prime Minister May losing these votes in the House of Commons, and there was hardly any move.
Well, I'm just trying to set the trend with respect to the jacket. Yes, well, look, the politicians over in the UK, they're running a circus at the public's expense. That's what exactly is happening. Theresa May doesn't understand one simple aspect, that she had several different humiliating defeats, but she is still consistent with the idea that her deal is the only deal, and she's just willing to put that at any cost. The cost is that we have so much uncertainty in the UK. But now, one good thing that happened, which is largely priced into the market right now, is that no-deal Brexit scenario is off the table. But at the same time, there's no table either.
Right.
I think
let me just jump in there. First of all, if we're to look at Jeremy Corbyn's idea, you have mentioned that she has put something forward time and again, but it's clearly not something that the Tories, even her own party, is not ready to entertain. The other option, please, just indulge me here.
The other options, look, basically we have, and then she said she needs to have something, and then she will go to the EU in order to ask for an extension. The options that we are really looking for is perhaps a general election, that perhaps the MPs would say that yes, okay, but she would have to resign, and then someone else would take over, and then again we could be heading towards a soft Brexit. The other option is that, okay, they're just together, if it is delayed for more than 2 or 3 months, which is beyond June, a strong possibility of another referendum taking place. Now, the possibility of another referendum taking place isn't priced into the market, but I think we are expecting a huge move today at 7 p.m. London time, because the outcome of the vote tonight is going to be very, very critical. Can really push the sterling to 137 against the dollar.
Now, you just talk some little trade economics here. I get the sense that the Brits actually, you might correct me here if I'm wrong, but you want to eat your cake and still have it. I mean, you do want to leave the EU, but still have a free trade area and all the goodies that come with it, maybe even a customs union if it's up to you. Going forward, how hard is Tusk's position right now?
The Tusk is easy with the idea of the UK going back into rejoining or revoking the Article 50 altogether, right? That's what the position is. And we also heard today from Jean-Claude, the ex-president of the European Bank, who also a message that if the UK changes its mind, then we are very welcome. And remember, we are based in London, and we never supported the idea of this political disaster, so-called Brexit. It is nothing but chaos.
Thanks for that clarification. Let's just move on to the Boeing. Very sad news that we did get just last week, that a Boeing 737 MAX. Very tragic, of course, what happened to Ethiopian Airlines. But if you're not Southwest Airlines, that has over 30 of these, word now is some airline operators who do have the MAX in their fleet are saying they want compensation. If you're holding Boeing stock right now, how worried should you be?
How worried I should be in terms of a volume, I can put things in perspective. So the volume for Boeing is 9 times higher than the 20-day average. The losses that we are seeing for Boeing is 4 times more than the Russell 2000 Index Aerospace Index. Right, so that really tells you that how much panic is there. Now, do consider that this is an option for me to go buy the stock now? No, I think there's still more downside for Boeing, and I think there's still room to go for the stock to go lower from here.
Right, let's move on to just another story that has been making headlines across the continent. Jumia making its entry onto the New York Stock Exchange, getting very many people quite excited. MTN also ready to cash in some big bucks. Just give me a sense of what you make of this one. Would you actually buy into this counter?
We don't cover that stock, and unfortunately won't be able to comment on that.
Right. Another issue that has been raised in the past few weeks was the fact that on one side, we're seeing the Fed, Jay Powell saying that he cannot be fired by President Donald Trump. How hard of a position is he in right now? I mean, the president often fires and hires people.
Yeah, president, but I think the independence of Federal Reserve Bank is the most critical element, and Donald Trump understands that. And I don't think that he is going to take such a huge step, because if the Federal Reserve president is fired, then we have a huge chaos with respect to the central bank policy. And then if we look at the dollar index, it has resumed its upward trend once again, and then we are trading at 96.76. We were very close enough to touch 98 even last week on the heel of a really good, strong economic data. It's just that housing numbers which were released today, they were a little bit soft, and then we saw some sort of a retracement, and also the economic this week, they weren't that thrilling either. But I think firing or hiring right now at the Fed chair level is a very high risk policy, and I think Donald Trump is more concerned about the ceremony between the Chinese president and calling another victory for a China deal, which, by the way, it is fully priced into the market right now. So whenever the ceremony takes place, do not expect a huge rally in the equity market. We may see some bumps here and there, but do not expect a huge rally. The only surprise could be just a negative one, and then that would only drive the markets lower because S&P 500 is already struggling with this 200-day moving average.
Naeem, good to have you on the show. That was Naeem Aslam joining us from London. He's, of course, the chief market analyst at Markets EU. Let's move on to some company news. XR results were positively impacted by Eskom. The miner's coal revenue grew 12% to 25 billion rand on the back of an increase in Eskom sales volumes and higher exports. It declared a total dividend of 10.85 rand per share. This up 50% from the previous year. Joining me now for more on this is Mkholisi Mgonjo, who's the CEO of Exxaro. Mr. Mgonjo, thanks for making up to speak to us.
Thank you very much.
Great results. If I could just delve into this, record production volumes, 47 metric tons, record export volumes, 8 metric tons. I could go on with the records here. Tell me, what inspired this away from Eskom? Even the exports are looking quite splendid.
Well, thank you very much, Arnold. It has been a very good year for us last year, but result is really stems from the work that we've been doing over the last few years. As you have seen, we've had a very strong capital program in terms of really trying to grow our value, especially into the export markets. And a lot of the initiatives that we have driven also talked around driving operational excellence, bringing in new ideas around innovation in the form of digitalization, being able to utilize things like data analytics, big data. And these are the things that we've been working on, building that platform. And what is now is that in the last year, the foundation has been set. And the capital now that we've been deploying is actually now looking at redefining our product mix to the high quality coals so that we can have more optionality and flexibility than being really dependent more on the Indian market, but creating ourselves the flexibility now whereby last year we started now taking coal to the Pakistani markets, to the South Korean, the Japanese market as part of really testing and really embedding our ability to actually be able to play the domestic Eskom, the exports, low quality by high quality coal, thus maximizing really our view that in utilizing our export entitlement, we want to play to the high premium coal markets. And this is the strategy that we've been adopting over the last few years.
Right. I'm sure this is a question that you hear countless times. The policy frameworks are actually having a bit of a reset. I'm sure you're not oblivious to this. You know, you're having the likes of the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund walking away from non-renewables. You know, you have the likes of the United Nations going in very heavy on the likes of coal and fuels and that kind of thing. How much pressure are you under right now to make sure that you deliver products, yet the policies in some of the countries in the West are not really on your side?
You know, that's a very good question, Al. And it's something that we've been working on at a strategic level with Exxaro from many years ago. You may not be aware, or may be aware, that Exxaro also is invested in renewable energy in the form of 2 wind farms on a 50-50 joint venture with Synergy, where we are supplying about 230 megawatts of wind power into the South African grid. So we have started looking at the whole issue around ESG. We have actually started looking at how does an Exxaro post-coal, post-mining look like into the future? But what we are also seeing that there's a great opportunity right now and in a particular horizon where we can actually maximize coal that talks to the high quality coal, lower ashes in such a manner that we can actually minimize the carbon footprint around coal, whilst we are still building the opportunity of diversifying into more renewable. And we've also identified the agri-sector and also the water sector as being areas of future growth, given the fact that there's a huge growing population coming in the future. And we want to play in terms of finding solutions in those particular areas.
Definitely. Let's move on. Again, going through your numbers here. Capital expenditure, the CapEx here, up 1.8 million, if I'm actually on the spot here. Again, you're looking at the Belfast project. Just walk me through some of these and what goes into this and the repayment.
Well, you know, the Belfast project is actually a very interesting one because it's one of our new greenfield mines, which is going to be a digital mine. It's fully digital with a digital twin. And basically what we have done now is that project initially was supposed to come into first production only next year. We're going to be on top of coal this year, actually 6 weeks from now. So we've been able to utilize the latest thinking around how do you optimize projects to create value much earlier. And therefore, we have been able to do that. And we have brought in a lot of that capital, reduced some of that capital, and actually been able now to utilize like this new way of thinking. And also in terms of all our other operations now, where we are going to be able to visualize the full value chain, where there's going to be one version of truth. So now that has enabled us to create new ways of driving efficiencies and productivity, because now you have one team that are looking at the whole value chain, optimizing as and when things are happening in real time.
All right. Very briefly, we could just touch the Mpumalanga mines. This is down 13%, you know, though the production is not also looking very good. What is actually driving this down?
Well, in the Mpumalanga area, we have had a bit of challenges. You would have seen, and we've reported, that we had 21 days of stoppages, but basically due to community activities that the mining industry has really been experiencing. And this is not only unique to Exxaro. We've also at the last year, where some of our old areas resources were, and there were delays in actually bringing in the new areas due to also community activities. We've had derailments happening. We've had weather issues in the Richards Bay terminal, where because of severe weather conditions, there were delays in inability to load some of our vessels. So all of these things played into the mix with regarding to the Mpumalanga mines. I can say that too right now. This year, we are able to drive all these other operational excellence initiatives, and they are actually enabling us now to be able to start looking at improving our productivity levels. And as such, we are in a situation where at the tail end of the year, we're able to start seeing some gains which are coming through into the new year.
So much to touch, Mr. Mgodro, but very little time. That was the CEO of Exxaro just walking us through the latest figures. Fascinating stuff indeed. Wish we had more time, but time for us to take a short break. We'll be back with more closing after right after this.
29 March is the deadline for paying all due tax, and all outstanding returns need to be submitted now. Avoid penalties and interest by doing it right now. Right together. SARS at your service.
So in the construction industry, we try and stay ahead of the pack in terms of the business practices, quality standards, and global best practice is actually what we try and adhere to, which is sometimes challenging in East Africa and in Tanzania in particular. So we keep adapting to what the world requires us to do, and we keep sort of pushing the envelope in service delivery and quality to our clients. And now with better results than before, because initially when we started on the ISO drive, 2012, most of the board was against it. Most of my colleagues were against it, because the value for ISO was something that wasn't very well known in Tanzania. What I think it's done very effectively for us, though, is it's brought a certain quality standard in the business that we wouldn't have had otherwise. And that compliance and that global standards of transparency, ethics, efficiency in the business is something we would have never had if it wasn't for ISO. Yes, so I think we're doing some of the largest infrastructure projects that we've ever done. It would be nice to see a little bit more participation of the local construction sector because it's dominated by foreign contractors. So while we try and change that, it's slightly limited how much we are, as Tanzanians, a part of that growth. But there is substantial growth in the sector. Some of the infrastructure projects that we're doing in transport, power generation, water distribution are the largest projects that have ever been done in Tanzania. Now, of course, we've had some big ticket projects come in, each one over $1 billion within the last 2 years. So we're expecting those values to keep going.
Welcome back to Closing Bell South Africa. Let's take a look at how the local and global currencies are faring with James Turp, who is the head of fixed income at ABSA Asset Management. James, good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Earlier on, we're talking to Naeem about Brexit, the vote yesterday, and how well the pound held its own. Just give me a sense of we do know that the rand was down 3%. Just give me a sense of what to expect today, leading into the weekend.
Yeah. So this Brexit sort of ongoing story is an indication of how Parliament's actually running government at the moment, isn't it? By these successive votes. And as you've seen, it kind of going almost like a soap opera, the way of unraveling, ultimately with tonight's vote on extending Article 50, right, which is that decision to leave, the official request to leave the Union. By extending that, and the EU saying, well, you can extend it potentially, but for a bit. But ultimately, where does this end? Probably, the odds seem to be either a soft exit or maybe even coming back, which they, of course, don't want, the government in the UK. But it could end up with another referendum down the line. It's unlikely at this point. But markets the sterling market is benefiting, if you like, from this certainty that's developing as it's playing to the tune, as the votes seem to be going the way of a softer.
James, it's quite interesting. We did see after the Wednesday's vote, it was actually up 1% to 1.338 to the dollar. That's the highest since June 2018. Yeah. You'd have expected otherwise, but
you might. Yeah, it's sort of. I guess it's got something to do with the picture developing against this hard Brexit, and the business community, of course, want to remain within the European Union in general. And of course, ideally, second best case scenario would be to exit, but to have a much better trade situation, a soft exit as they describe it. So the pound's really reflecting that, highly volatile. And so that's one big trading partner for us in South Africa that we look at for our currency. But then also in the background, you've got the dollar and how it's been the talk of the day as well, starting off with China having some disappointing figures coming out of China.
I was actually just going to touch that because industrial production is down to a 17-year low. Yeah. The renminbi is down, 0.3%. And we're seeing a bit of a spillover here. The spillover risk is real.
Yeah, so for the global economy, of course, a slowing down China, never a good thing for emerging markets, for our commodities, not a good thing. And then to add insult to injury, the trade discussions between President Trump of the US and Xi Jinping of China being pushed out by the looks of it to next month as well. So dollar starting off the day on the front foot. We've seen it reflected in the rand. Bonds open up soft on the back of that. And it's really been a dollar positive day overall.
Tell me, have you been watching the Aussie dollar? Because it was also hit. I would have thought this just moves into the emerging markets, but clearly no one's safe.
Yeah, the Aussie would behave also like a commodity producing country. Of course, big ties into China as well. So anything softening China would affect the Australian economy. And of course, both quoted back to the dollar. So US dollar positive, Aussie dollar negative. And I think it's more that it's considered a mining country.
James, the begging question here is, if China releases weak numbers, This spills over into other emerging markets. Definitely the US, like you said, the dollar was not spared. Aussie, no exception. If you're in South Africa, who do you hedge against? Who would be a decent hedge here?
Are we talking, so hedging against China, a China weakening?
A renminbi, dollar, Aussie.
I think if you're looking to hedge, you've got to buy US dollar against emerging markets. So that's the sort of risk off, risk on. When it's risk off, you expect to see dollar strength, dollar treasury strength. That's US dollar and US treasury strength. So your hedge would be a strategy to buy US dollars as a hedge against weakening emerging markets.
James, good to have you on the show. James Stirrup, Head of Fixed Income at Absa Asset Management. After the break, we take a look at the SA markets right after the close.
Where will you find sumptuous serenity with stunning vistas? Relaxation and invigoration with international hospitality. The answer is Echo Hotel and Suites.
The role that startups are going to play in this fourth industrial revolution is really around making sure that we are the producers of it, because there are skills and capabilities and young startups coming out of university today that already have some of the solutions that the agriculture, chemical, mining sectors are looking for. And we keep talking about how do we get to the front of the fourth industrial revolution? How do we make sure we're not consumers and become producers? It's there. The question is that are they getting enough support? Are they growing fast enough? Are they scaling?
We often find that technologies which are developed locally, as they emerge and as they become successful, that we're faced with we might have equity in the business, but we're faced with a situation where we then have to divest from that, and a foreign venture capital or a large global multinational then takes over the company and what's been developed indigenously. So that's definitely something that we need to look at a solution for.
Welcome back to Close Mail South Africa with me, Arnold Sego. Markets have closed, but first let's have a look at some of the top stories. Standard Bank will close 91 branches in South Africa, with the vast majority of these closing in June this year. These changes will impact approximately 1,200 jobs. The bank said that the changes are part of its plan to realign its retail and business banking delivery model to the changing needs of the customers, that is, amid rapid adoption of digital banking products and services. For more of this, I'm joined on the line by Fanaka Monchiane, who is the Chief Executive Personal and Business Banking South Africa Standard Bank. Fanaka, to have you on the show, terrible news if you happen to be an employee here. Just walk us through how long has this decision been in the pipeline? Let's start there.
Good afternoon. I think that we released our results last week Thursday, and in our financial statements, we were very clear that we are seeing quite a significant acceleration of digital transaction and a steep decline of branch-based transaction. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that since we finished our core banking transformation program, we've been able to accelerate the delivery of digital solutions on app, on internet banking, as well as ATM, and customers are simply choosing that. So we, after much reflection, we've got to the decision that's been very difficult to make, to say we can no longer ignore the fact that we are seeing less and less of our customers coming to the banking hall.
When you start preparing the land for planting maize, for silage, first thing you have to do is to destroy or shred the crop residue. So what is left over from the previous crop. And the easiest way that is with a shredder or the crop residue into smaller pieces, so that when you do the land preparation, the equipment can easily deal with it. The idea of shredding is available to be made available in the top layer of the soil where the next crop is going to grow. After shredding, the best way of cultivating the land would be a chisel plow together with rollers behind the chisel plow. The chisel plow will kind of mix the crop residue a little bit with the soil so that decomposition of the crop will start. And also the chisel plow will loosen up the soil deeper so that with the next season that is coming, the rain will be able to penetrate into the soil very easily. That is important. Secondly, also by loosening up the soil, you allow air to enter the soil, and all the life that is in the soil, bacteria, small worms, they need air as well as moisture to be able to survive. If you don't have a chisel plow, or you do not like to use a chisel plow, you can use a moldboard plow. So you have done the shredding. That is still advisable, because even the moldboard plow, when the crop residues of the maize are very long and tall, it is not always handy for a moldboard plow to handle it immediately and to cover the crop residues. So after the shredding, you can use a moldboard plow, and the advantage of the moldboard plow is that it will cover in one activity all the crop residues that are in the field, which means that with one activity, one time going into the field and plowing, you have the land ready for seedbed preparation. So this type of equipment, when used year after year, really will reduce the amount of diesel that you will need to prepare your land for planting. Once the soil is ready and the crop residue has been incorporated with the soil, closer to planting time, you would probably try to make a seedbed preparation, make the soil fine, in a fine tilt that allows the planter to enter the field, and with ease you could use the planter without any crop residues anymore disrupting or making the situation difficult for the machinery to be able to drop the seeds equally and also the fertilizer in the correct way. You want to plant the maize when the soil is already moist, so that germination will happen within 4 days. I would prefer to start planting when the soil is a little bit wet. Alternatively, but definitely it would not be advisable to do all your acreage in that way, is to do dry planting. So when the soil is very dry, there should not be any moisture in the soil. You could plant a little bit deeper and plant when the soil is still very dry, and then wait for the rains to come. And as soon as the rains will come, the crop should germinate. As long as the seed is in the soil and the soil is very dry, nothing will happen, because it needs moisture for the seed to germinate. So that would be dry planting. The advantage of dry planting, there is an advantage, and that would be that the yield is normally slightly higher than if you wait until the soil is completely wet, because basically the soil is very warm when dry planting. As soon as the moisture comes, the rain comes, the plant will really develop, grow very fast.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za hukamu. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big Four? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya Big Four ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye rahisi kudo biz now. Wax mita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za mainvestors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 to 2 karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Itahelp kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy. Kupiga corruption war, kufanya civil service iwe accountable, kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni, kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable, kuimprove skill ya mayouth kwa areas za matechnical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni wera ya gava national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
And my name is Patricia Esikote. Kikois and mats require a lot of time to make them. We talked to Rosaline Musiega of African Looms Enterprises.
I entangled the products, which I made a follow-up to see how the loom itself looks like, which I really admired. When I used to see how they're throwing the shuttle and all that, I admired a lot. And I had the desire of starting my own company. I was a teacher before, then because I liked traveling and I liked interacting a lot with different people. When I was teaching, I was always with parents and the children. Then I wanted to have a change. And then in between, I had a desire, or I used to admire mostly to know about weaving because I had learned it during my home science classes in primary. Our products or weaving products are niche. So it's not a product that will just go anywhere and get it as you wish, especially the handmade. Because we have these ones that come from Sunflag and all that. They do not have that taste the handmade product has. The handmade product is very unique on its own. And then the timing of making the product is a bit longer. So you'll not use the same time these other kikois are being used to make. So you'll find that in a day, if you make many, maybe there may be 5 or 6, 8 that you made so many. And it's because everything is handmade, especially when you're starting the process, it really takes you time to complete it. And that gives us the uniqueness that one admires. And then the way we also do our patterns, it's very unique, which you might not find everybody with. And mostly my products, they're unique in that I make them mostly in full patterns. In that I want to identify myself with my products, which are different from what other brands are doing. With the kikoi, mostly I use yarn SS, but it closed. So right now we're getting it from Eldoret at Rivertex. They have a shop in town, so we don't go all the way to Rivertex. But the unfortunate thing with the Rivertex, they only have the off-white. They don't have the colored ones. And now what we do, we have to go beyond the borders so as to get the colored thread or yarn. So we go either to Uganda or to Tanzania. So we get our Tanzania, we get at Tanzania Sunflag. Uganda, we get at Supo. Now, apart from yarn, that is the kikoi part. The other part is yarn, which now I mostly use the off-white with making the mats. Now I add the t-shirts materials or textile materials, which I get from companies that are making cloth or textile. I come up with different products, which now I first do market test, market research. From the market research, now I'll come up with what is not on the market, is what I would want to do, so that when market, even if I'm with my fellow weavers, I look unique. In that, like the mats, most of most of the other companies, they're doing with wool, they're doing with the cotton to cotton. But now I come in with a product that's made with cotton and textile material, where I become the only unique person. And from a unique machine, because my machine for the weaving, there's none who has them in Kenya. I'm the only person having them. I imported from Italy. I have a variety of products. I know most of my colleagues do not make pillowcases. This is a sample of a pillowcase that I'm now going to send to US to get an order. So I make them in different colors, as you would see them. And then I also make different type of kikoi. It's not the same one, which now from this, you'll get a nice shirt made from this. You get a nice dress made from this. Then you get, the pattern is just unique on its own, not what other weavers have. You'll also get a very unique shoe from my company. And there's nobody making these shoes. It's only Roslyn from African Enterprises, African Looms Enterprises. So this also makes me unique, regardless of what one would want. These are male's shoe, and these are ladies' shoe. And I'm coming up with the children's so that I complete the Bamato, Baba, Mama, na Toto. Yes. And then from that, you'll also get a bag. This I started by the time when they banned the papers. So these are carry bag, which you can carry in everything. It's unique on its own, made from t-shirt materials and yarn, cotton yarn. Yes. You'll also get a nice bedside runner, unique on its own. Actually, it's having our corporate color, which I'll talk about later. You get a nice scarf, which you only put on. It's very warm, 100% cotton. During cold season, just put on like that and you feel warm as you walk along. I also make, these are demos, which I want to send to US also. They are toilet mats, yeah. Then you'll get a demo of our bedside runner, just almost like what I was doing. Demo of the toilet top cover and the lower part, yeah. And then you'll get a table mat, 100% cotton, yes. Now, this is the starting process of weaving. After you've bought the thread, we call it yarn in a weaving language. So after you bought your yarn, unajua ya kwanza unataka kutengeneza nini. And then from that, unataka mita ngapi. So this, tumeiweka in meter form from one end to another is a meter, from another end to a meter, so inaendanga na 4 meters. Ukienda one round, those are 4 meters, another round, those are 4 meters, yeah. So unaenda nayo kulingana na meters zenye unataka. Ukishamaliza, now removing from this, unaitengeneza kama chain, ndio ina flow vizuri. I'll show you the chain itself. So unaimove ukitengeneza kama chain, ndio sasa uende uweke kwa warping frame.
Na importance ya hii kwanza ni nini?
Importance ya hii ndio itakupatia the flow of the thread, and then itakupatia the length of the product you want. Hii sasa tumetoa the warp yenye tulikuwa tumeweka kwa warping frame, sasa tumeichain, sasa iende kwa warping beam, tuifanye beaming. Yes.
Okay, so inatoka kama tu moja ama ni?
Sasa ni kimoja tu, umeitoa yote kulingana kama ulitaka 50 meters, kama ulitaka 100 meters, sasa unaichain yote inakuwa kama one long chain. Yeah, unaona kile inatoka?
Yes.
It's a very long chain. Hii inaweza tupatia more than 50 kikois.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from here, where do we go?
Now from here, tunakuja kwa beaming. Yes. Now this is the beam. Yes. Okay. So what we do, tunaichukua this, tutaipitisha hapa ndani. Pitisha kwa hiyo irudi.
Kisa, what is the use of this beam?
Ziwe na laini vizuri, unaipitisha huku ndizi hapa isipite juu. Pitisha.
Sasa reason ya kupitisha hivi zote ni nini exactly?
Reason ya kupitisha hivi zote ni kuifanya wakati wenye una beam inakuwa na a good line, as you can see these ones, so that by the time unashona haikusumbui ikishikana zikikatikana, alafu zinapata line nzuri ya kufanyia threading. Threading yake unafanya kulingana na pattern ile unataka kushona. That is what matters. Ni nini pattern ya aina gani? Kama ni plain iko na vile set, thread. Kama ni pattern fulani, any iwe diamond iwe nini, this is now what matters. Now from that process, this is the end product of the kikoi. What you do now is unashona, inakuja inatokea na huku, inakuja juu ya hii frame, and then itakuja ilale kwa hii the frame. This one. Then inachukua the end product. So itakuwa something of this kind. Inapotoka pale inakuja hivi ikiingia ndani ya hii, so hiyo uzi itakuwa imekuja in between hapa hivi. After finishing the denting, you now start doing the weaving. Now the product will come this way from the braid, ikiteremuka ikienda mpaka inakuja inazunguka hivi, and then ina come to the end to this frame. Hiyo ndio ina hold the finished product, which after everything unakata, sasa unafanya finishing ready for the market. If you're not taking to the market direct, now it will come from here when you want to make the shirts, the cloth, the bags, and any other, with the shoes, as you will see them later. Tunapeleka nao kwa kirani pale, and then tunamalizia hapa our products and we continue to take to the market. Now, from the kikoi machine, you now come to the mat machine. So the process ya kutengeneza the mat machine is still same as the process ile ya kikoi. You undergo the same cause everything that is there is here. Only that with the kikoi we have 4 shafts. With the mats we only use 2 shafts. With the kikoi unapata pattern from the threading there, but now for the mats you make the patterns with the hands direct. Yes, the handmade direct. It's you to know how to twist the thread or the yarn or whatever material you are using. If it's wool, it's you to know how you want to put the design. You don't use the shafts. Yes.
Can you kindly demonstrate it for us?
Now, just like what I'm already doing, you take your yarn, whatever material, if it's yarn for the like right now I'm using offcuts from the t-shirts in companies. So what you do, you insert your yarn, your material, then you set your end nicely. Then you leave it with the strength that it was made with. You don't pull it. If you pull it, you will not get the straight mat as you wanted. Now, this one I had divided into 3. because I needed 60 by 100. So I had to divide into 3 so that I'm running with the 3 mats at a go. This I've set the bedside runners. Yes. This is the easiest than Kikoi. This material imetoka kwa Kikoi machine. What we did in the beginning. So after finishing the product, we bring them the tailoring part is a session where now we tailor into different products. You'll get, as what she's doing, she's making a bag, a sling bag. My business have trained a number of youth from Korogocho and Kariobangi, and Huruma environs. It has also changed lives. One, we had girls whom was given by World Vision. They were prostitutes. But it changed their life now. They're earning a living because they can now their own products and sell instead of running to the streets, running here and there. 2, it has changed my life. That is where I educated my children from. Yes, especially the college and university.
Make a date with us at Fanaka Digital on all social media platforms and see what we offer. On our business opportunity segment, we give you ideas that can change your life. This week, we look at profitable business for women. Thank you for staying with us. That's all we had for you this next week. Same place. I've been your host, Patricia Esikote.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuwekenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big Four? Tribute za Kenya. Ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Workspace moja zitajipa. Mapeni za investors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 2 karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Works karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kupai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big Four kujipa? Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa, kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy. Kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable. Kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni. Kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable. Kuimprove skill ya youth kwa areas za technical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni wera ya gava national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
Balance between their business. Now, don't we just love the glam that comes about with Happy Feet? Our show today starts off with a student of communication and PR, Daisy Waiderero Wambua, who is the CEO of Blush Lounge. She talks to us how she gets to strike a balance between her schoolwork and her shoe business. A communication and PR student at the Moy University Eldoret is an entrepreneur as well as a writer.
I sell shoes, all types of shoes, from kids' shoes to ladies to men, and I also write. I have a website called Truth and Smoke that deals with articles on feminism and millennials and all the battles that we face as we find our true self.
Daisy is the CEO of Blush Lounge. She tells us she decided to start her shoe business for her love for shoes and how she is fascinated about how heels make a woman feel.
I decided on shoes because I'm passionate about it. I love heels. I love the way they make a woman feel. And I think they are a good resource.
Her shoes collection ranging from children, ladies, as well as men's shoes.
I am doing media actually. I'm doing communication and public relations at Moi University main campus. And I also sell shoes as a hustle.
Oh, so you're selling shoes as a side hustle?
Yeah, I do sell shoes as a side hustle.
Okay, so for how long have you been doing it?
1 year and a couple of months.
Daisy, who has been in the shoe and some months now, tells us where she
do get them locally as well, because I feel like the Kenyan market has really expanded and we have so many things to offer to the Kenyan people. But I usually opt for Dubai imports because they have legitimate shoes as opposed to here.
With Dubai being one of her source of shoes, she tells us the challenges that comes with.
I would say the back and forth mostly, because commuting from Eldoret back to Nairobi to Rongai then back all the way to Eldoret, that has been a challenge. Also, when I have clientele who want some type of shoe and it's not with me at that moment and probably it's on this side, I have to accrue for the interest, and actually pay up for the transportation fees to come to Eldoret so I can actually sell them.
Having to commute from Eldoret to Nairobi for her clients has been a challenge for her, but she still does that for her clients.
I actually bring expensive shoes. For example, I have a couple over here that I brought from Dubai, and they haven't gone for about 6 months because they're a bit too dear compared to the others. Yeah, it's actually a challenge. Yeah, people actually buy. I have the clientele who can actually afford them. Yeah. But as for now, I'm still struggling.
Daisy believes she is a risk taker, and before one starting a business, she says it is key for one to have a purpose that drives them.
Yes, I would call myself a risk taker. Any type of business is a risk because you never really know whether it's going to pick up, whether you'll find the clientele, whether you'll have dead stock. It's always a risk.
Daisy tells us what she thinks about the Kenyan market and her hope for the market's growth.
Depends on the times. For example, when it comes to a time like September, not many will buy shoes unless they are official shoes or shoes for kids for going back to school. So they would the open shoes, and they'll just opt for maybe the official ladies shoes or maybe the open shoes when it's sunny. But when it's raining, you have a hard time selling the open shoes.
She definitely had a word for the fellow students with business ideas planning to venture into business.
Always have a purpose for starting a business. Most people start for reasons, but I would really advise against that because once the money stops flowing in, what is going to happen? Are you going to just quit all over it, or are you going to pick up another one? So always say like you have to find your drive before you even start a business. And if your drive is only money, you're going to get disappointed.
How do you get to balance between your studies and also this business, especially because you're studying in Moi University, which is in Eldoret, and you're selling your shoes in Nairobi? How do you even get to balance the two?
I'm grateful for a guy called Peter. We've done a joint venture whereby I can actually leave shoes here, some of the heels that I purchased, and he'll sell them for me, and some of them I carry back to Moi and sell to the students. This ones go for 2,500.
Okay.
But my shoes range from as little as 1,000 all the way to like 10,000.
Do you think that we'll get to a point where actually other people can come and buy things that are coming from us? Like, for instance, you find people go from Tumba and not designs that have been made locally.
Hopefully, maybe in the next 5 years, when we started like appreciating like Kenyan designs and appreciating the whole craft and the whole like hustle of starting things from scratch, I think we can get there. To get all these saucy heels and shoes, you can visit my page on Instagram. That's _launch, or Facebook. That's _launch Africa. You can also visit my website. That's www.daisywaitherero.co.ke.
On our second segment, we speak to James Bayo, an employee at Gimac, who shows how the machines up with work and just how it makes.
Kwa nini mliamua wacha tuje tuonyeshe hizi mashine zetu mahali hapa?
Tulikuwa tunataka pia ku create awareness, pia bado ziko kwa market. Kuna watu wengi bedhe bado hawajaziona, wanakuja bado hapa wanashangaa nini. So like bado tulikuwa na gym market, na pia tuliona ndio tukama padi na mashini ili kama pia such that tulikuwa na cheki kama shule wanafunzi walikuwa wanakula zile mboga zikaje mlipata zile mboga zilikuwa kubwa ilikuwa inainulia hivi kifika chini shakatwa. But si tuliona na tena ile kwa mapema walikuwa na mapema je cooks manini kama mashule unapata shule iko na population like 3000 na wanafunzi by 7 ama nini lazima kula, na kazi si ati ni kukata mboga peke yake. So pia imewasaidia mimi kazi yao fast.
Inatumika iko kwenye market.
Inatumika ukienda kama Kiganjo Police Training College, tumeuza EIP Administration Police, pia tumeuza over 400 schools. Na institution nyingi kubwa zinatumia. Hata Kijabe Hospital wanatumia mashini zetu, wanatumia products zetu.
Okay, kwa hivyo unaweza sema soko iko sawa.
Soko iko sawa lakini tunajaribu pia. Though iko na challenges zake pia.
Sasa hizo challenges ambazo unasema ni kama zipi hasa?
Challenges ni kwa hizo raw materials. Ziko so expensive. Unapata like tukienda kubuy hizo raw materials hizo mabati ndo ziko so expensive. So like tukiweza kupata raw materials ziko cheap na tax ipunguzwe, pia inaweza kuwa poa. Tunaweza pia reduce bei ya machine. Yeah.
Sasa hii mashine yenu inatumia stima ama mnatumia nini kuweza kuuza hii mashine? Ndio iposa ifanye kazi kisha mweke mboga ndo itengeneze
ni electric.
Okay.
Yeah, it's electric. Tuliona kama unataka kumake kazi ya watu hizi, usikota watengenezea tena kitu kingine itakuja kwa make tiresome ama ita demand labor sana. So tukamake it iko electric, ni electric si manual. Yeah.
Na sasa mmeweza kuwa mmeadhirika na ushuru na waadhiri kwa njia yote ile?
Inatuadhiri like kwa hizi raw materials. Unajua hizi zitoki Kenya, unapata tunaziimport pia. So like tax yake ikiweza kwa chini, pia na sisi pia inaweza kuwa to favor. Juu pia kuzia kwa itakuwa more cheap.
Nilidiscover hii mashine
ilianza na director wetu alidiscover back then 2014. So like tumekuwa na 4 years in the market.
So kwa miaka hayo 4 mmeweza kuuza mashine 400.
Tumeuza like ukiangalia hadi hiyo mashine hapo serial number utapata iko 350. Kumaanisha like tumeuza like over 400 schools na other institutions, si shule peke yake.
Let's have a look at what we have for you today on our opportunity segment. Now, that is all we had for you today, but be sure to catch us again next week only on Fanaka TV, because we are strictly business.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing, SEO, msosi, UTAT, riba ya afya, NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big Four? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya Big Four ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Wax mita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za investors kutoka Mayolo zitakuwa 6, tumbili karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya kiroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya keja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big Four kujipa? Ndio tu kupiga corruption, civil service iwe accountable, kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni, kuweka bei ya nare au mati na waba iwe affordable, kuimprove skill ya youth kwa areas za technical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni wera ya gava national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
New Discovery is a show where we showcase the latest innovation, trends, as well as new market entrants.
We specialize mostly in eyebrows, new technologies. We mean like microblading, micro shading, and the latest ombre.
We also go the extra mile and find some interesting stories where women are doing what's considered a man's job and vice versa.
I decided to choose security because of passion.
Join us every Monday at 8 to explore new experiences on Fanaka TV, where we are strictly business.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspirations za Big Four? Inspirations za Big Four inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya Big Four ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya country top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Wax mita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za investors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 tumbili karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agri kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Itahelp kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 itajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big Four kujipa? Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa, kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy. Kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable. Kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni. Kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable. Kuimprove skill ya mayouth kwa areas za technical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni wera ya gava national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
across the continent.
Coming for a youth organization is, first of all, it's showing like the cries that the youths have been making that we're not being included in most of these processes. It's been hard. And like most of these big organizations, let's say, for example, this FARA, is like the importance of all youths in agriculture. They've realized that the youths, in as much as it's usually said that they're leaders of tomorrow, they're not the leaders of tomorrow, they're leaders of today. You need to involve them in some of these programs for you to ensure the sustainability, because they're the ones who are going to continue. Like, let's say, for example, this START program, they're the ones who are going to continue and carrying it on. So that's why I think it is very important. It shows like our like advocating for involvement of us, the young people. Yes, it's working. We've started getting involved here right now.
Given the magnitude of the project, proper coordination is paramount. TAT is working with partner organizations which will support the compacts and the countries. For example, in Eastern, she's working with the Association for Strengthening Agricultural Research in Eastern and Central Africa, commonly known as ARECA.
Coordination, we're basically going to supervise the implementation of these activities. We're also going to do monitoring and evaluation. We're also going to do some level of quality control in terms of implementation of these activities. And above all, we'll also do reporting on implementation of these activities. We shall be working together with our national focal persons in these respective countries where TAT will be implemented.
As the conference wound up, it was evident that projects like TAT are key in addressing the gaps in the agricultural sector. Once well piloted, such initiatives are testament that Africa can feed itself as envisioned under the Feed Africa strategy by the African Development Bank. To find out more about the Technology for African Agricultural Transformation project, that's TAT, visit the FARA website on www.faraafrica.org.
Agenda Big 4 ni nini? Level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big 4 iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Inspirations za Big 4. Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya ya Big 4 ina target kila msee awai afya. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big 4 itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big 4 itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Wax meter moja zitajipa. Mapeni za mainvestors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita so 6 tumbili karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi ya wana dema karibu nusu. Kuongeza click kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Makeja. Big 4 itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa CMJ. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJ. Nini itasaidia kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy, kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable, kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni, kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable, kuimprove skill ya youth kwa areas za technical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big 4? Ni wera ya gava national na za county, ma investors na ma donors.
Investing in youth in the agriculture sector is paramount for sustainable transformation of the sector. To fast-track this, a National Youth in Agribusiness Forum hosted by AgriProFocus under the Promoting Agribusiness Investment, Networking and Trade for the Youth, dubbed PaintY, was held in Nairobi, bringing together stakeholders from the sector.
PaintY was inspired by a scan that we did for the youth in agribusiness ecosystem in Kenya. And what the scan revealed is that there are very many initiatives that are supporting youth. These are projects. There are a lot of donors that have invested also in these projects to support youth, but also private sector foundations and very many government institutions. So we thought, how does this all come together? Why aren't people talking to each other? Are the youth part of these conversations? So the scan highlighted 3 areas: capacity building, it highlighted access to resources, and all policy as issues and sections in the youth in the agribusiness ecosystem that the projects are supporting. But the realization is that also these projects are not talking to each other. Youth are not talking to each other based on the successes that they have. So PaintY is basically that neutral platform that brings all these stakeholders together, including the youth.
In a keynote address by the Kingdom of the Netherlands, youth must be involved in policy formulation, which should be adapted to their needs in a bid to improve their agribusiness ecosystems.
I strongly believe that youth in agriculture also needs youth in policy. We need young people to also be involved in decision making in the policy level. To be involved in the policy dialogues, because that's also an important sector where we as youth can make a difference. Because the challenge is significant. Here in Kenya, the population age between 17 and 32 is almost 17 million. That's as many people as live in my country. And even the group is increasing. In 2030, there will be 22 million people in the same age bracket. So therefore, we have a role as developing partners together with the Kenyan government, knowledge institutes, but also the private sector to create opportunities for youth.
This forum, which is the first under the PaintY platform, provided a stage where the youth showcased their agribusinesses and shared their experiences. On the other hand, stakeholders had the opportunity to interact with them for a better understanding of what they really want.
PaintY is an eye-opening. It's an opportunity to meet the youth in their area. They can tell us what they think. This is the only way we engage to know what works and tailor-make and give them solutions. It's definitely a good collaboration. We would like as a bank to continue with and bring all the youth in it.
This forum was helpful for me as a facilitator of one of the programs that offers scholarships for regional students, where at SESAM we've got 164 masters and PhD students. These are potential agribusiness specialists and different areas of animal science, different areas of dairy food and science of technology, different areas of agronomy and crops and horticulture and soils. Would love to have these youths get outside there and make a living out of agribusiness. So the forum here provided an opportunity for us now to get insights into what we will implement in our project and how we will train these students better to think about enterprise development as one of the ways in which they can make ends meet.
From the interactions, capacity building, access to resources such as markets, information and knowledge, finance and leadership were key areas that the youth need support and engagement in. In a side event on policy and leadership, participants highlighted that creation of proper information flow channels must be put in place and are conducive for all stakeholders.
We realize that there's a lot of opportunity in preparing the youth to take leadership and to influence policy. So that is a clear opportunity. And how do we do that? 3 areas were mentioned. Number 1 is there's an opportunity to fill the existing information gap between government and the youth and vice versa. So the information flow has to be two-way. Does the government understand the youth, their aspirations, their skills, their needs, and do the youth understand how government works, how the opportunities in government flow, what are the requirements, and what is required of them? So filling in the information gap is very critical in preparing the youth to take leadership and influence.
On capacity building, reintroduction of agriculture and agribusiness courses from the formative years of pupils will play a big role in increasing the uptake of agriculture. In the wake of technology upsurge, the youth must leverage on these platforms.
Technology presents a better platform to be able to share information, and this I'm talking about tested information. And one of the highlights that was identified is the creation of e-hubs. And I think these, of course, are the representations of different entities or institutions that are covering this. And the main reason why we have to embrace incubation models is because they offer all-in-one package, be it BDS, be it investor-ready programs, and different other areas that we need to focus on. The other models is linkages and networking. And I think this forum serves a purpose for that. The main reason for this is to encourage farmer-to-farmer interaction and, of course, peer-to-peer interaction. And the most important is in this is long time, like we have said, we need to put the youth at the driver's seat of agricultural transformation. And this needs to be done by encouraging peer-to-peer interactions.
Access to resources such as market, knowledge, and finance are some of the main challenges that most agripreneurs have to grapple with, and the youth are no exception. To address this, they have to be innovative in their quest to access them. A farmer group shared how they've managed to crack the code on access to finance.
We realized that we were having challenges bringing in commercial banks to finance our agribusiness project. So what we did is that we connected ourselves with the savings groups that we were having in the villages. So we strengthened them, then we combined them into a one large group that formed now the Muhoko community-based organization. And then with the CBO, we were able to open a bank account, which now all the groups would put their savings in, and it is from that large pot. Now we would distribute larger loans to the members who wanted to invest in various things. Most of them invested in agriculture.
And what do youth make of the Paintwhy platform?
The Paintwhy has come in hand in providing the linkages to the market, because we are able to meet other stakeholders in the agriculture, in the agribusiness, especially as a young person. It has widened the market scope. So as for us, we are marketing our products, the honey and the equipment. Paintwhy has offered a platform whereby we meet other stakeholders in the business, and we have been able to reach our customer more and provide the products that we are offering.
For me, as a youth, for one, it's a platform that you don't get every day. So being able to be part of this ecosystem where you're able to interact with fellow youth that are also leading in various with various solutions in agriculture sector. This is an all-round environment for me as a youth, and also now on this other end as a business owner.
When I came here, I created a networking with so many people, and I also learned that apart from the beekeeping business that I am practicing there is a lot of opportunities in Kenya that we can do. But that can only be done through networking like what we are doing right now in this forum.
Upscaling the Paintwhy platform across the counties and regionally will be key in transforming the agricultural landscape going forward.
We want to take this to county level, in Tanzania, from Rwanda in this room, from the Netherlands. So we really want to make this a global platform for youth, by the youth, with the youth. So I hope the youth are geared up to plug in and make this happen. Yeah, we commit to making this a platform where you can find information, but also other stakeholders implementing programs in youth to find each other, because I think that's the only way we are really going to create impact for the youth and create impact for our food systems for the future.
To join in on conversations about Paintwhy, visit our website and our social media platforms.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big Four? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya ya Big Four ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Wax mita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za investors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 tumbili karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kupai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJ. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJ. Nini saidi ya Big Four jipa? Na 24 hours economy. Option war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable. Kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni. Kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable. Kuimprove skill ya youth kwa areas za technical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni wera ya gava ya national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
This is one of the flagship projects in which is Kenya's development blueprint, which helps to guide the development of the country. Its objective is to help the country to advance in technology, science, and innovation, and to help in advancing the knowledge economy of Kenya. This is a greenfield city being built from scratch, and it's a smart city, and it's also going to be a technology city. The development of the project is on course. We have made significant progress in development of the guidelines, in the master plan, and in the main aspect of infrastructure. We have the contractor at the site working on the basic amenities of the city, and also the first building of the city is under construction. We are in the process of procuring a design consultant to establish the first research university in the country. And this is a special one in that we are working with the government of Korea who are financing, and we have the feasibility study which was developed by a team led by Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. And this University of Korea KAIST is a model we would wish to replicate here in Africa. Kenya's growth over the years has been good. over 70% of the population is under 35, and the urbanization in Africa is also among the highest. So there is need for huge investments in Africa for urban development, and a number of partners would be required to come and partner with Kenya and projects like Concert Technopolis in providing the required infrastructure, such as the roads, such as housing, and other amenities that are required in urban centers. We've considered to meet world-class standards in terms of infrastructure, in terms of IT connectivity, power connection, reliability, so that it can host sensitive infrastructure like data centers. And we will be attracting even global players in technology space to locate in Concert Technopolis. We are also looking at setting up an ecosystem of bringing the various players, so that this would be an attractive location for even global players to locate their Africa offices in Kenya. And we are building Concert Technopolis with this in mind.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing, SEO, msosi, UTAT, riba ya afya, NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big Four? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya ya Big Four ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Waxmeter moja zitajipa. Mapeni za investors toka Majolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 tumbili karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big Four kujipa? Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa, kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy. Kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable. Kuweka service za gava ziwe mtandaoni. Kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable. Kuimprove skill ya mayouth kwa areas za matechnical. Ni kinani watakuwa? Ni raia, governor na za county, ma investors na
Show where we showcase the market and
we specialize mostly in eyebrows new technologies. We mean like microblading, micro shading, and the latest ombre.
we also go the extra mile and find some interesting stories where women are doing what's considered a man's job and vice versa.
I decided to choose security because of passion.
Join us every Monday at 8:30 p.m. to explore new experiences on Fanaka TV, where we are strictly business.
Facility expert takes us through effective and affordable inputs on repairing damaged soils as a result of industrial fertilizers. Later, we compare tomato yields from inorganic to organic farming. Rice is a frequent delicacy in most Kenyan homes, but the growing process is a rather harsh experience for most growers. Joseph Munene has been a rice cultivator for the past 33 years, and it is thanks to his hard work that he can afford a smile on his face whenever he sees a plate of rice on our tables. Let's take a look at his journey. Enter Joseph Munene, rice farmer, Tibare section, Unit 20.
When we start growing rice, most of the times we start in the 4th month because it's observed when it rains, there's plenty of water. And because it's not Tibere section that's farming, we are able to distribute water and then start farm preparation.
This is where the whole process begins.
When we farm, we use our bulls to plow until July. Till July, it's when we start thinking of what seed to plant, either the BW variety or Pishori.
After tilling the ground and waiting from April to July for the soil to regain its tenacity, planting takes course.
So during the 7th month, we come and prepare nurseries because we start planting in the 8th month from date 1 to 9 for those who plant late. After rice has been transplanted into the farm, it takes 3.5 months. So if you count those days, they are 90 plus 15, which becomes 105 days. That rice is fully grown for harvest. After rice is done growing, you can harvest through people or tractors. The purpose is to harvest. Those tractors make work easier because they harvest in a short duration, which afterwards is taken in people. As first to be cut down, beaten up, and put inside sacks. After you bask it out till it gets moisture from 14, put it in a sack and sew it. There are companies that buy, like the cereals board, but most of the time they buy when they are late. Most of the people that we sell to are local women who buy to go and mill. The rice that we harvest is husky and is called paddy. Afterwards, the women take the rice to the mill, of which the husks are removed. What we get from it is bran, so that the rice is left clean, which is what we sell in the market.
Munene's journey for the last 30 years has been a stressful one compared to the previous 3 years that have seen him walk close to his financial freedom. Kenya Organic Finest Aromas Limited played a big part in most farmers' yield, which Munene has also adopted. Introduction of soil education that has seen many embrace the technology by use of organic and natural farm inputs, thus reversing the damage caused by industrial fertilizers over the years.
God helped me and I found my luck. I met a friend of mine called Peter who told me he farms using organic inputs. So I asked him how the organic inputs work. He went and introduced me to COFA. He told me the fertilizer is good and it would repair my soil, so I won't have to use the chemical fertilizer again. I believed him because he told me he has used that fertilizer. I was afraid at first since I had not. COFA taught me how to use their inputs and I became one of their farmers. I used to farm using the industrial fertilizer. When I had well harvested one, I would get 25 sacks, and I believe the outcome should be so. But when I farmed using the organic fertilizer from COFA, using very little of it, the harvest I got was 29 sacks, the second 29 and 3/4 bags. I saw that I had increased my yields by 4 sacks and fell in love with the company. I stuck by it and even tell my fellow farmers to adopt the system. The price of COFA fertilizers is low compared to the high yields. We uproot one bunch and compare the difference between the two. These other bunches by COFA, we see that the roots are longer and tend to go deeper into the soil, but the roots of the chemical one are short. Even when I take back the organic one into the soil, it will still grow like the rest.
I have farmed rice for a long time, 10 years to be precise, using the old common way where we have used a lot of money and expenses incurred using the chemical way. But I have seen a difference with the COFA one, which is cheaper. It removes acidity in the soil. I will definitely use it in the next season.
The technology and know-how to increasing farm yields has been found, but the market outlet still remains a huge concern.
The challenges we face as rice farmers is that during the planting season, no one has money. You must look for money so that you are able to harvest and then tell the lender to take equivalent rice to the amount lent. If there can be found a company that can help farmers by buying the rice in time, the rice farmer will be stable and will be very happy.
Throughout the toil and moil, Monene has made some milestones in his life.
I have been able to fend for myself and in a position to build a nice house, which I am in the process of completing, as well as educate my son. But for the 3 years I have been with COFA, I have been able to save well.
With overtime soil stability, high yields and better returns will be expected in the near future if everyone will adjust to natural and organic farm inputs. We take a short break right now, but when we come back, we show you how tomatoes are grown. Did you know that kale is high in fiber and water? Both of these help prevent constipation and promote regularity and a healthy digestive tract. It also contains B vitamins and vitamin C, which promotes iron absorption. These are essential for the domestic private sector and continental levels. But for this to happen, attention to soil preparation and treatment is of key concern, especially when nature plays a key role in the organic inputs. Francisca Mui, an agronomist as well as founder and CEO of Kenya Organic Finest Aromas Limited COFA, takes us through effective and affordable organic soil repair inputs that repairs damaged soils through reclaiming technology by use of organic and natural farm inputs.
COFA is a social enterprise, and what we do in Kenya is handling soil fertility. What we noticed some years back is so many of the farmers are losing so much yields due to soil fertility, an area which many farmers are not aware. When they are talking about losing on crops or yields, they blame the seeds, they blame fertilizer, they will blame the rain. Nobody talks much about the state of their soil. A few are aware on analyzing their soils, but they don't even know how to interpret their results.
What does COFA exactly do?
COFA produces a product that rectifies soil acidity, boosts moisture retention, and balances the pH, literally handling soil fertility. the whole essence of COFA is to increase yields for the farmers. So even when somebody has a very small farm, 1 acre, have an acre, whatever crop they put in, they harvest to its maximum production.
COFA's products are K-Tiba, also known as Reclaim, which is an all-natural oil stimulant designed to eliminate the negative effects of continuous use of chemical input, organic fertilizer, in order to meet crop-specific nutrition demand, cleaning up the waste in the soil, bringing the soil back to vibrant life. Seed Boosts. This is an all-organic product which is essential for organic and conventional farmers, which provides all seed types with a kickstart, reducing the germination. All solution is a foliar treatment designed to increase carbohydrate levels, thus raising the crop growth levels and setting higher production rates.
So the hindrance of yields being affected by soil fertility shouldn't happen when a farmer uses COFA products.
Okay, great. So how do you come up with your products? What exactly goes into it?
We checked what really many of this organic matter, the humus, something that helps the soil structure with holding moisture. So we created a compost and we fortified it. When you put it in the soil, you don't have to hunt for so much manure, animal manure. This fortified compost gives you all the humus and all the organic matter that you need for your soil. That's the first. We also came up with a conditioner, something that helps break down the cumulative locked up nutrients to make them available to the crop. So many of the farms, when the soils are done soil analysis, you can see the nutrients are there in the soil, but the crop cannot access them. So you find the farmer planted maize, but it's looking yellow. He planted rice, but it's looking yellowish. And he added so much fertilizer. It's still in the soil, but it's locked up. It's not available. So we make sure that it is available. The last product that we give them is for boosting microorganisms and enzymes in the soils. Soil has to be alive. So why is it important for the microorganisms to be there? To handle diseases. If you literally boost the microbial levels in soils, the crop doesn't suffer so many diseases that farmers have experienced. At times you find a tomato farmer whose entire crop got spoiled. All potatoes, they just rot. All maize, strange diseases sweeping an entire area. So all of it is if you boost the beneficial microorganisms and enzymes in soil, all those diseases won't be there. So the crop grows in a very beautiful environment. Soil fertility is very important for any farmer who really want yields and who wants to grow crops in an economical manner without using so much chemicals in the farms.
Okay, great. So maybe you can talk to us about the challenges that you've faced so far.
One major challenge was them a new concept that they have to feed soil the same way they feed the crop. They have to take care of soil the same way they take care of their crop was a whole new thing. So many of them had to learn a new concept that soil needs to be maintained and it needs to be healthy. That was hard. Raising money to train farmers wasn't easy. Even big NGOs did not really know much about the soil fertility. They didn't really have budgets on training farmers on soil fertility. So getting a partner, having people train farmers, having us train the people train farmers, it wasn't easy. That was the biggest hindrance. The second one was for working with the government bodies to do research. It's expensive, and you're bringing in there's a whole big process, which takes years, and costs you have to have enough. So research work is very important. After it was good, and we had doctors and agronomists and professors supporting our work and scientists, but affording to do that research was another tall order. I wouldn't say we've got a market for the farmers. I would say the crops that the farmers are growing, because they are now better, they are of more quality, and they are actually tasting better. the farmers getting markets for that quality product is easier. So we haven't really hunted for a special market for our farmers, for their yields or whatever it is they're growing, because they're growing variety of crops, rice, coffee, tomatoes, French beans. Every one of them had a market already. What they were looking for is good quality for their existing market. If it's coffee, they needed better quality for their existing market. If it's French beans, they wanted more yields of high quality that the exporters needed. So you find a farmer who was doing 1 ton or 2 tons of French bean, of quality beans that the market wants. If it's rice farmers, Pishori, Moya Bishori, the farmers were doing below 20 bags or 22. But now they're doing 32 bags of very good aromatic and sweet smelling rice. So we didn't get a market for them. But we got a market for our products with the farmers who had issues with acidity, bacteria wilt, nematodes, and very low yields. So yeah, that's what I would say about market. But if we get a special buyer, we already have the farmers who are growing different variety of crops. So whatever somebody wants, we just connect them with the farmers. And
I must commend the work that COFA has been doing, or rather has done so far. Are there growth opportunities, or rather, where do we see you in the near future?
we have over 8 million farmers, small-scale farmers who are suffering. So many of them who are not even breaking even in their farms. All because the yields are very low. So if we talk of potential in Kenya alone, it's huge. So many farmers have issues with rotting potatoes, very low yields in coffee, very low yields in vegetables and fruits. So the market is big. Where COFA will be in a few more years is if we can even be able to take care of 400,000 acres. That's enough for us to just be a voice that we repair soils in Kenya for many farmers. And we're not just there for small-scale farmers, even large-scale farmers who have issues with soil fertility, who cannot use animal manure because of application systems, they can use our compost. It's easy to apply. And they can maintain their soils in a healthy state, increase the organic matter, the humus. So the market is huge in Kenya Road. When we finish Kenya, then we can think of in 5 years or more going across the border.
Wow, that's quite a dream there. Thank you so much. It was nice having you, and thank you so much for what you are doing already in Kenya, and we do wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is thanks to nature for giving us an equatorial climate that allows suitability of a wide array of crops on the same land. Our next story, we feature an organic farmer planting an organic tomato. Well, this is all about organic farming. Let's explore that story. From the nursery to the farm, tomatoes thrive best with full sun and warm, well-drained soil. This in Mwea is an added advantage as the countryside is naturally sunny. Dominic Mothike, a rising tomato farmer, barely rests as he has to tend to his tomatoes.
Let's say it's 4 years as a tomato farmer. I used the disc to prepare the nursery. I waited for 2 weeks for the soil to regenerate. After the soil is rich, I dug terraces. After 3 weeks from the nursery, I planted the seedlings into the farm. One makes the holes distance from each other by 5 steps according to the perimeter of your farm. I spread the first water on the farm using organic conditioner that treats the soil. Before the fertilizer, rid of tomato diseases. I mixed nano in a drum and waited for 48 hours before spraying it onto the farm. Water is well submerged into tomatoes take 75 days to mature, which is 2.5 months. The 5-step distances in between the tomatoes are for cleaning the leaves drainage by water from the pumps. This supports to lift the tomato fruit to keep it away from the soil dirt and not rot during the rainy season.
Twikiraga ni undu wa gukiria nyanya matunda matigakorwo mabutĩtie tĩri nigetha nyanya ikorwo ĩ theru na itikabuthe thingo ya mbura.
I get my water from River Dhiba. We also call it the river of God because it springs from the mountain. One is required to have a water pump machine and pipes. Without these, you are not able to farm. From where I pump my water from, I have joined together 150 pipes to supply water in my farm. When the tomato gets to the clinging stage, you tie the leaf to the rope using a thread. We prefer putting posts and longer sticks because the tomato might grow taller. Once tomato suckers emerge, you add another rope and tie a new leaf onto it.
With a big appetite for more returns, Muthiki has introduced Rotuba, a Kenya Organic Finest Aromas Limited natural input, into his.
A fast fertilizer, so I mix Rotuba and spray it onto the farm.
The impact of Rotuba being to repair soil has already been felt with the way his tomatoes are advancing.
Because of using organic inputs, this tomato is good. There are diseases such as whitefly which will not attack the fruit. In the first farm where I was using chemical fertilizer, you can see that quarter of the yields are spoiled. Same time had no fruit. Looking at the great difference now, I highly anticipate double yields.
Tomatoes are his #1 major income earner as he harvests and sells twice per week once they are due.
Once my tomatoes are ready for sale, it is the buyers who come from afar into my farm to buy. They come twice per week, so I harvest my tomatoes twice a week. When they come, we are already aware of the market prices. I used to sell 1 box of tomatoes at 4,000 Kenyan shillings, but now 4 Kenyan shillings. It depends with how the market is trending.
And Muthiki is no exclusion.
Farming, I have been. My children can afford to go to school. I have a house and I bought a plot where I have built rental houses.
Understanding our farm yield capacity and ways to double it will be best borrowed from Kofa, whose mission is to promote sustainable livelihoods and food security through soil conditioning. From me, Tabitha Muthoni, and the entire On the Farms of Africa team, have a lovely week.
Agenda Big 4 ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kukaa. Big 4 iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big 4? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya ya Big 4 ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big 4 itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big 4 itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Wax mita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za mainvestors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 2 karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja before itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big Four kujipa? Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa, security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy, kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable, kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni, kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable, kuimprove skill ya youth kwa areas za technical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni wera ya gava ya national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
Striving to strike a balance between their schoolwork and their business. Our show today starts off with a student of architecture who doubles up as a baker. What an interesting combination. Esther Njenga talks to us about balancing books and a paying hobby. Esther Njenga, a fourth-year student of architecture at the Technical University of Kenya, has had passion for baking since she was a little girl. And true to her passion, she started baking in 2014 during her first year of college.
Since I was a kid, I always used to say I will be a baker. And well, everybody used to laugh because they didn't think I was serious. Okay. So I've always had a passion since I was young. And I'd use my mom's recipe books from the house. I'd try and make things. Of course, most of them wouldn't work out. But with time, I got to learn how to polish my recipes. And I went adopting others. I also went to baking school for a very short time. And then I just started off baking for my friends, selling to them and family. Yeah, and here I am.
Okay. Having started just by using her mother's recipes, she went ahead to join a baking school, and now baking has transitioned from a hobby to a business.
Oh my goodness, at the beginning it was tough because I was still teaching myself how to do a number of the things. And well, school is also very demanding. In fact, during the semester, I have my sister help me out with a couple of the things. And then I also pray that most of the orders come during the weekend, because then I would have the time to bake. But during the week, it used to be tricky. So what would happen is that I'd come from school, like at around 6 or 7 p.m. And then I check if I have any orders for the day. And hopefully I'll have bought all the ingredients that I need. Then when I get to the house, I do my cakes very quickly and then resume back to schoolwork, mostly through the night.
As much as her architecture course can be demanding, she came up with strategic ways of balancing between schoolwork and her baking business.
I had to come up with an entire system of where I buy my things, how often I buy, how much I use, how I bake my cakes, how they're delivered, so that even when I'm not around, like when we have pin-ups or we have exams, someone can do them for me, you know.
Striking the balance between her schoolwork and the business has been a big challenge. Just how does she do it?
First, obviously, is the striking that even balance between school and business, because after a while you'll realize that your business will peak and the orders keep increasing. And my second greatest challenge was capital, which is, I guess, every entrepreneur's biggest problem.
Starting a business with little capital was also a problem, but she was determined.
Coming up with the capital was quite a difficult task. In fact, it took me a while because I'm a student, so I am not employed. I do not have any income, and I had to rely on my savings. I really used to save a lot. So I baked at home for a while, for 3 years before I was able to set up my own bakery, and I used to save all that money. Every single penny you save, and then obviously you borrow here and there from family. Go and smile nicely at your mom. You tell her, Mom, I need an oven, I need to put up cabinets and shelves and buy utensils, and there I started. So it was quite difficult, but we were able to bring everything together, and here we are.
For Esther, perseverance and good record keeping got her business to finally start paying off.
The first 3 months of business are always the trickiest. So you have to make sure you write down every single transaction that you do. You go to the shop, you buy this, you write it down. You spend money on paying electricity, rent, what, you have to write it down so that at the end of the month you have a clear record and you're able to see how much you're making.
Esther believes doing some research well before venturing into a business. But what advice does she have for other youth?
I would advise them first to do a lot of research, establish their idea, and then try and create a sample product. Once you have your idea, try and create a sample. Like for my cakes, the only reason why people here and there agreed to finance me is because they had seen my work, they had tasted my cakes, and they saw that I actually had a passion for it because I did it for 3 years. We're going to start with the margarine. So you can pick the margarine and put it in the bowl. And then we will beat that. That is 200 grams of margarine. Yeah, here. So you're going to beat it. You put the mixer on. This is a hand mixer at the lowest speed. Yes, like that. Yeah, just like that. Circulate. And then we're going to put the sugar next.
So I just mix it?
Yes. You put the hand mixer down like that, and then you put the sugar. Yes, the entire amount. Yes. So this is the sugar butter method, and you should always have a kitchen towel for the purpose of spills like this ones. And then now we're going to proceed into mixing that.
So mix again?
Yes. Put it on at the lowest speed. Yes, like that. Rotate it. Yes, there. And then next will be the eggs. So with the eggs, you need to beat them 2 at a time. Okay, here. So you beat the eggs. Sorry. Can we wipe this? We can wipe this so that we use it for the eggs. So you beat an egg. You beat it into that. Just crack the egg and...
Okay, like from here?
Yes, from there.
Okay.
It's just that easy. You can just crack it from the edge. And the second one, and you do them separately so that you make sure that there's none that is spoiled, and then you put that into the mixing bowl. Yes, put them there. Still, yes, you can mix. Yes, you mix it. Yeah. And then we'll continue with, bring the same bowl that you used. Pick another 2 eggs. There. Yeah. There. And then you can also do the third one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That you can pour that into the bowl. And then you mix that. So you always have to make sure that the edges of the bowl don't have anything stuck on them. Everything goes into the mixture. This is what we call batter. B-A-T-T-E-R. So you can mix that again. Yeah. Yes, that's enough. You're doing well. So next we'll put in our flour. It has baking powder already, 300 grams of flour and 10 grams of baking powder. You'll put it in 2 portions. So you'll put half of it mixed and then put the other half. Yes, no. Just pour it in like this. Yeah, like that. So you pour in half of it. Pour in half of it. Yes, like that. Add a little bit more. Yes, that's good enough. And then you mix it with a mixer. Yeah, like that. And then you go pouring in the second one. Just continue. Proceed. And then you can put it off. First, to scrape off the sides. You have seen baking can be messy, yeah? It is. That is the nature of baking. So you always have to have your apron and a kitchen towel. There. Yeah, so you can proceed with the mixing. Yeah, that's good enough. You can put it off. So because this is a lemon cake, we are going to add some lemon. This is the lemon that we have grated. So you just put it in, just a little bit of it, not too much. And then you take your lemons and you squeeze them to create the zest. Yeah. Like that. So since we had grated 2 lemons, we're going to squeeze in two lemons. And then that's, yes. Okay, so you can always add some lemon essence, and the use of the essence is to give it the smell and the taste, and it will be lemony. Yes, there. Okay, now this is the final mix. Yes, so you can put on your mixer, your hand mixer, and proceed. Yeah, that is good enough. Yes. So now we have our batter ready. Yeah, we'll just scrape this off from this. So do you now feel confident baking by yourself? I've been doing this for 4 years now, since 2014. Yes, and it is my passion. So now we are done mixing our batter. We're going to take the margarine there and grease our tin. So this is a 1 kg baking tin. No. What you do, you take the brush, this brush, you take this brush, you take a little of the margarine, and then you grease the tin like this. Let me show you. So you take a bit of that, like that. So you could do this with your hands, but obviously no one wants to get messy. Yeah, so that's why you always use a brush. So you just do that. Yeah. So I have now greased the bottom. So you could grease the sides. Yeah. So you brush onto the margarine and then you grease the tin. So this will help the cake not stick. We don't want our cake sticking. We want a neat cake. Yes, all around. All around like that. Yes, so it's well done, just that corner. Yes, and we're done. So very little margarine is actually needed for that. So once we have greased our tin, we're going to use, this is grease-proof paper. So the reason why we use this, again, is so that our cake comes out whole. We just want to make sure that none of it sticks to the edges. And it will also be very easy for you to remove your cake from the tin once it's ready. And you'll have all your edges intact. So you just stick this to the cake, to the tin, like that. And then now we can put our batter in the tin. So this tin now is actually ready. It's ready for use. Now remember, once you're doing all these things, you need to be preheating your oven so that once you're done putting your butter in, you can have your cake in the oven once you've already preheated it. And then we're going to use the knob. You rotate it till 180 degrees. Cakes are best baked at 180 degrees. And that way, you make sure that you have the right, your rack is at the right position. We never need this for baking. Yeah, this is rarely used. So I will put it aside. So once your rack is here, now remember this rack needs to be at the center. Not too high, not too low, so that the heat evenly gets to the cake. Yes, so we will give this about 5 to 10 minutes. And then as we put our butter in the baking tin, and then we'll come and put it in the oven. That is the beauty about business. You have to struggle at the beginning, but then with time, you get to break even, and then you get to now enjoy the profits much later. So, well, it obviously takes a while, but eventually you'll start reaping the benefits. So you have to be patient, you have to persevere, and you have to keep your accounts very well, because once you're not able to know what money goes where, you end up mixing everything and maybe eating all of it. You might not have those profits. Our cake now is cold. You can now retrieve it from the baking tin, and then you always have to peel off the grease paper. You can put that aside, and then we will always use the bottom as the top. Reason being, it's the flatter side. Now, a turntable, as you can see, turns. It just makes the work of creaming your cake very easy. Now, this cake, as you notice, can easily move. So what you do, you take it up and use just a little of the cream there to stick it. So now it's stuck.
Did you know the Natamani Nikuone hitmaker Laura Karwira is a full-time student studying nutrition?
Nisijione mkamilifu kwa nguvu zangu, nitaweza peke yangu, nisiamini hekima yangu.
Laura Karwira may not be a new name to you when it comes to the music industry. A nutrition student at the Kenyatta University who took her musical gift to the masses by singing her heart out. She tells us how she gets to juggle her schoolwork and her music.
For me, music is a passion, because I think one of the things that inspires what we do with our lives is the gifts that God has given us. And so that for me has been a gift since I was a child. And it came to a point when I was in high school when I realized that it's something I'd actually want to pursue further. And for me, it also came as a calling.
Music for her is not just a passion, but also a gift from God and a calling.
So it was something that I needed to do to achieve my life's purpose. So, but when it comes to the choice that I made, when it comes to the course that I'm studying in school, it is also another interest of mine. I believe in making the best of the life that you have and the interests that you have and the passions that you have.
She believes in making the best of the life, interests, and passion that one has, and not being a jack of all trades and a master of none.
It's possible to be a master of 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. So as long as once you figure out which ones these are for you, and you're able to balance them, though it's not really a matter of balance, it's just about priorities, then you'll be able to achieve what you can do. And at the end of the road, I think it's very fulfilling to have done everything you could have possibly done in your life.
Being a male-dominated industry and being a female upcoming artist, she had her fears and anxieties, but it went well for her.
I'm female and I was pretty young. So of course I had my tears, but thankfully it went well for me. But it's true to say that it's a male-dominated industry. It seems to kind of work. I don't want to say it works, it's not like it works easy for anyone. It's still a tough road for everyone, male or female.
She says she has challenges, yes, but she believes in no impossibilities.
It has its challenges, but it's not impossible. So for me, I cannot honestly say that I had. It's about your inner strength and your inner ability to go for what you want. Yeah, regardless.
For Laura, the support she receives from her family is very important in her musical career.
I want to honestly say that I owe it to the support that I received from my family. It's important, and I would encourage anyone watching who has a child and they see a gift in them, please allow them to explore that gift. It could do for them so much more than a degree can do for them. At the end of the day, it's just about someone living a fulfilling life.
Laura insists on having priorities when it comes to her balancing her schoolwork and her music career, especially with the kind of pressure that comes from her music and the fans always wanting to hear something new.
It's a matter of priorities, that's what I see. We all have 24 hours, so as long as you have chosen to do particular things, it's a choice, it's something you want to do, something you love to do, then you just have to make time for it.
She says she has not gripped it yet in terms of her music paying off, since she has been in a period of giving more than you receive, but every song she releases comes with its own break.
I can't say that I have quite gripped it yet. It's something that I am learning to work at every other day. because most of the times I find that once I put my focus on something, or when one end demands from me more, then the other end will kind of get choked. So most of the times when I'm having like this last semester was quite engaging for me, and if I hadn't released Julikane, I think the next time you'd be hearing from me is in another now 2 years, because before Julikane came out, it was already 1 and almost a half years.
Laura believes that one has to beat the odds they have to beat, since life is not the same for everyone. What does she have to say to young people?
Unfortunately, life doesn't happen the same for all of us. So all of us have different odds to beat, different challenges to get through. So I'd say whatever those challenges or odds are for you, just beat them. Your challenge may be that people in your own home don't support what you're doing. Beat that odd. Gracefully and politely help them understand day after day what this means to you, how much you love it, how much you want to pursue it, and make moves. Let them see that you're working towards it, however little that is.
Let us have a look on what we have for you today on Attenders Corner. That is all we had for you today, but be sure to catch us again next week only on Fanaka TV, because we are strictly business. I am Masiwe Rire.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big Four? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya Big Four ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Worksmita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za mainvestors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita so 6 tumbili karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Works karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big Four kujipa? kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy, kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable, kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni, kuweka bei ya nare au mask na waba iwe affordable, kuimprove skill ya mayouth kwa areas za matechnical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni we raia, gava ya national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
name is Patricia Esikote. What started as a joke to Shazin Bat turned into a money-making machine. This is our story.
We started as an ice cream business, not a bakery. So I actually started with making ice cream. So me and a couple of my friends were gathering up. So I was like, I made ice cream because I was just curious. And I was like, guys, try this out. And like, wow, this is really good, but change this and change this. I was like, okay. So they're like, you know, the texture is still a bit off. This and this needs to change, maybe the flavor a bit. And I was like, okay, fine. And maybe it needs to be a bit more stable. So I was like, okay, fine, let me try again. So the next time I tried it, I tried making it again. And I was like, okay, guys, try this. And everyone was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Oh my God, this is so amazing. And I was like, you guys are just gassing me up. And sell this. And I was like, now I know you're lying. And my friends were like, no, try it. Like, really try it. And I was like, okay, fine. Then a friend of ours was also opening up a bakery. So actually, they're the ones who gave me the opportunity to start off there. So they had me supplying the ice cream to their place. And it was actually moving, which was surprising. And for me, it was shocking because I was like, it's something that just started out as a joke between, you know, me and my friends and me just trying something new. But it actually became like a full-fledged business. Next thing I knew, I also was supplying to a cafe that was also nearby the bakery I was supplying as well. And that's how it started. So I saved up over time. And then I also started baking now. Because now I do ice cream cakes, I do, you know, baked goods in a different way. I do pies and stuff like that for people. And people will try it and they're like, wow, this is actually really good. And I tried different flavors and guys really liked it and enjoyed it. And that made me really happy because I like when people enjoy my food because I love entertaining people. I love cooking for people. Like whenever we're in a group of people, I'm always the one who ends up cooking. So for me, it was great to be able to share that with so many people. I'm doing what I love. I am doing what I love. This is genuinely what I love. For me, for a very long time, it's really hard to get like healthier options. You know, that those times you're trying to maybe get yourself fitter, get yourself healthier, but you're maybe a sweet tooth and you're really trying, but it's really hard. And you really have to stay away from all these other things. So by doing things like, we offer gluten-free services, we offer sugar-free services. We offer vegan services. Just to be able to give people that chance, that option to be able to live a healthier lifestyle and still be able to eat what you want to eat. So for my baking process, I usually start with the egg yolks and my sugar. And I usually prior beat up my egg whites separately as well, just because I find that gives more of a fluffier and a lighter cake. So it technically feels like you're eating a sponge cake. Like it's really soft, it's really airy because you've beaten up so much air into this. So it gives it a way lighter texture. I like using vegetable oil. Most bakers tend to use like Crisco or like condensed vegetable fat. Now for me, I try to keep it as healthy as possible. So the reason I choose vegetable oil, and this is specifically sunflower oil, it's not been hydrogenated. So that means your system can break it down easily as compared to maybe other hydrogenated fats or saturated fats, because they always have that added hydrogen component. It makes it difficult for your body to break it down. So for me, I try to keep it as holistic as possible. Yes. Now, like I said before, I like to put in as much air as possible into the cake, just to give it also, it gives, apart from the light texture, the thing about putting in more air, it gives you more volume. So you'll find what a standard 1 kg cake in another bakery is way bigger in volume maybe for this. Now for today, this will probably be what a standard 1 kg cake is in most bakeries, because we're doing gluten-free cake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You see, the thing about this, once how the machine works, how a mixer works, when you're beating in, like for example, the eggs, when you're beating, once it's doing the circular motion within the egg, it's literally putting in air into that egg to be able to give it like a frothy, foamy texture. That would give it that lightness, that airiness, so it feels like you're literally eating a cloud. Yes. Yeah, so I'll have you help me here. So we sift in the flour, just again to give it that soft, spongy, light, airy.
Have you added any other?
Yes, I've added already added baking powder and a bit of salt. Now the reason I add a bit of salt to my baked goods is it helps bring out the sugar a bit more. Yes, they complement each other well. So it's always good to add a bit of sugar whenever you're doing your pastries or your baked goods. One can feel like the color and the sugar and what ingredients have combined. You can usually tell from the consistency once it's creamed in. Now, what helps is sometimes because of the water component, the sugar does take a bit of time to cream. But once you put in the flour, it does make it easier. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna be doing next. I taught myself everything from scratch. I always had an interest in baking and cooking and stuff. And I always loved experimenting because I found things got boring. Sometimes we do the same thing over and over again and it gets boring. And I wanted to try new flavors, wanted to try new things, wanted to see how different ingredients can come together to make something different. And that's how it started, just out of curiosity. And then it also came into, now I'd make it for family or friends, and people would be like, oh my God, this is amazing. How'd you do this? And I'm like, okay. I was just trying. And you know, that's how I started, with people telling me, you know, this is actually something great. This is actually something really good. It's something we'd buy. So that's how it started. I've made a point of teaching myself everything that I do. I've done a lot of research. I do take quite a few maybe international online courses to do with food, to do with even the business aspect of things, just to be able to get to where I am. The thing about cooking and food is every sensory organ you have applies. So that gives you the whole experience. You've got to think about the flavor, how it tastes. Like if you bite into it, what are you going to get from the texture? Is it something chewy? Is it something soft and airy? You know, that will also produce like a certain sound when you're eating. So that complements that flavor. And then you have the visuals that complements, now that's on the decorating side. How is that going to appeal to you? Because the first thing for me, the clients I'm targeting are people who are trying to live a healthier lifestyle, people who are looking for variety but can't find it. That's the most important thing to me, especially the health part of it. That's something that I feel very passionately about, because for me, it's something I have struggled with, like trying to eat healthy and still be able to eat something that you'd like or something that you see. So for me, that's been really important for me. And I think, like, for example, the gluten-free market is something that's not been tapped in Kenya. And if it has, it's on a very, very minimal scale. And most of the things that we do have that are gluten-free are all imported, like maybe 2, 3, 4 people that you can count that actually venture and do things that are gluten-free for people here in the country. So for me, that's the market I'm trying to target. I have gotten a few clients who are on that scale, and I'm still venturing out to, you know, expand that market as well.
On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, shows, or feature. We admire women who shaped history across the continent, and today we feature the first woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize, Professor Wangari Maathai. Kenya, unemployment is one thorn hurting the economy. Kenyan agribusiness could be the perfect path to wealth and job creation. These are some of the business ideas in this sector. To keep in touch on and keep the conversation going. For now, take care. We will see you once again next week. I have been your host, Patricia Esikote.
Agenda Big 4 ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big 4 iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big 4? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya Big 4 ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big 4 itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big 4 itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Wax mita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za investors toka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 2 karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Wax karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big 4 itapunguza bei ya wadhi kupai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big 4 kujipa? Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa, kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy. Kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable. Kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni. Kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable. Kuimprove skill ya mayouth kwa areas za matechnical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big 4? Ni wera ya gava ya national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
mostly in eyebrows new technologies. We mean like microblading, micro shading, and the latest ombre.
We also go the extra mile and find some interesting stories where women are doing what's considered a man's job and vice versa.
I decided to choose security because of passion.
Join us every Monday at 8:30 p.m. to explore new experiences on Fanaka TV, where we are strictly business. Victor Ndombi, a fashion photographer. He talks to us about why he chose to do photography, not just as passion, but also as a course in the university.
Photography is kind of like a passion to me. It's like a dream come true to me because this is what I've been dreaming since I was young. Yeah, just playing around with cameras and just wanting to learn more about photography. That's why I'm doing photography. Photography started as a passion before I decided to go and pursue it in school right now, as I'm a student. I started when I was young, used to borrow a camera, and go and do some shows again to learn throughout. Then it grew into a very good passion in high school. After that, I've been doing it after high school, and then later on now I decided I can go back to school like in college or campus and do it as a passion and also form of a career to me.
Is it that it's paying? I understand it's a side hustle, but does it pay, or you're just doing it because you have passion?
Of course, passion also brings pay. So if you do something you love, of course, it has pay. It does pay. I get clients, I go do a shoot, get some money that help me do some sort of stuff. It helps to also pay my school fees. This is what I do throughout my entire life. Yeah.
While you're doing photography, is there this one person that you have in mind that every time you're doing a shoot, you're like, I look up to this someone, so every day I want to be better to be like a specific person?
I look at Jimmy Nelson, but my very favorite person that I look up to is Maria Tequila. This is a person who has done a shot of Madonna for Versace. He has done Prince Williams for Vanity Fair. This is a guy, if you look at his portfolios, and where he started, it just inspires you because he does fashion photography, which I'm doing currently. I look at attire, I'm into fashion, so I look at the fashion, the designer, what they create, and I love to take those pictures, create into something beautiful for someone to look and create a memory out of that.
I understand that you're making these lovely t-shirts over here. So you're trying to communicate photography and you bring fashion together.
I make outfits, I design something that's related to photography. Like I put photography words to a t-shirt, like I'm a photographer. If you walk out there, someone like, yeah, this is a true photographer. Like life's like photography. You don't have to take negatives, split, take another shot. If it doesn't work, go on, do another shot, keep on going. That's what I do. Just get on moving day by day because I get inspirational from so many other people. So that's what I create. I come up with a mind, something different. I want to be a different photographer. That's why I come up with fashion photography. To do something was related to photography, was to encourage photographers not to give up, yeah? Because all over the world, so many photographers. But only one thing will define you. There's something changed. There's something you're doing different from the other photographer.
For someone who is doing schoolwork and also a side hustle, it can be quite hectic because you find people who are doing a different course and they have passion in something else. But for you, you're doing photography in school and you're also doing it as your side hustle. Yes. Is there any challenges that you face, like to balance between the two?
Like you'll find you have a client work to edit, you have school, there's exam at the end of it you have to read for that. Maybe the day you're having exams, there's a client who have a shoot. So you'll be like, should I go for these exams? Should I skip school? Should I just go and do the shoot? So, it's a bit controversial, but at the end of the day, have some encouraging lecturers who surely knows that this guy has a talent. So sometimes when you get to talk to them like, hi, 1, 2, 3, I have to do this and this, because they understand this also a hustle where I get to pay my school fees from. Yeah, so they get to understand, but at the end of the day, God above everything, yeah. That's what I say.
Caleb Okumu is an ICT student who has passion in photography. He ventured into photography whilst in high school after he was inspired by his friends. And today we get to talk to him and learn about him and photography.
Photography nilianza vile nilikuwa form 3. So nilikuwa tunapiga picha zile za kujibamba. I started using my phone. Then friend yangu anaitwa Michael Aweru, alikuwa na kamera fulani inaitwa Nikon D3100, yeah. So tukaanza kujibamba. That time tulikuwa tunajua kupiga picha.
Looking up to someone who inspires you definitely gets you doing what you do way better.
Nimefanya nikiwa high school. So best yangu mwenye tulikuwa tunafanya naye, yeye ndo aliniingiza kwa photography. But yeye aliacha akaenda kwa fashion sasa. Sasa najitengenezea website. Then photography sana side hustle ka juu si kila sana tegemea mzazi. Like sasa tumefanya like 5 weddings. Yeah, and the normal shoots I do every day.
As much as doing something that you love is fun, there definitely are some challenges that one comes across.
Mostly ni kupata clients, because clients wengine watakwambia wako na 500 and 500 can't buy a new camera. Mostly 1,000 for 10 photos and 1,500 for 20 photos.
Just what does it take for someone to have detailed photos that are definitely pleasing to the eye?
Na edit na Lightroom and Photoshop and Visco. Hizo ndo sana sana naanza na Lightroom, then napeleka kwa Photoshop, then naenda kwa Visco. Ndio inatoa detail yote Visco sana sana ya simu. Lakini sana sana na edit na phone, because laptops sipendi kutumia sana. Ndio inatoa detail nzuri kabisa. Lazima utake photo na manual. Ndo kwa unataka mood editing, lazima utake photo na manual, lakini pia hizi piga picha kama kuna jua kama hizo. In the near future, mostly nataka nianze kupiga picha za billboard. Yeah, and to travel.
Okay.
Yeah, my goal is to travel. My friends, the ones I take photos with, and watching YouTube tutorials, to editing.
We definitely want to do something that we are passionate about and happy, but also pays. So does photography actually pay?
Kama client anatoa pesa mzuri, nitaenda shoot. Yeah.
You'd prefer to do that?
Classes zangu hizo kwa 2 per day. Yeah.
Okay.
So mwenda tu kwa client, na take like 20 minutes for the shoot. Then I'm done. Yeah, ni vile tu nilikuwa tu nimekaa shule. So tulikuwa tu tunapenda kupiga picha na simu and I didn't have a camera. Then hiyo kamera yenye nilikuwa natumia ilikuwa ya friend yangu cause yeye atumiangi. So nilikuwa tu najifundisha kila time mpaka nika perfect. Naweza tu ambiwa practice every time because pia mimi nili practice. Sikuenda shule yote kufundishwa photography.
Agenda Big 4 ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big 4 iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big 4? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya ya Big 4 ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big 4 itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big 4 itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Worksmita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za mainvestors kutoka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita 6 tumbili karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Works karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big 4 itapunguza bei ya wadhi kupai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300,000 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big 4 kujipa? Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa, kuimprove security ndio tuwe na 24 hours economy. Kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable. Kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni. Kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable. Kuimprove skill ya mayouth kwa areas za matechnical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big 4? Ni wera ya gava ya national na za county, ma-investors na ma-donors.
Many farmers grapple with water shortage during dry weather periods despite lots of runoff water when it rains, leaving the farmers with no source of water for their livestock and crops. The Smart Water for Agriculture project under the Netherlands Development Organization, an effort to showcase water storage, has set up a lined water pan demonstration site in Katangi area, Machakos County.
The Smart Water for Agriculture project is a project whereby we are working with small and medium-scale entrepreneurial farmers. And we're looking at helping farmers improve or increase water productivity as well as increase their income. How are we doing this? We're looking at introducing water efficient technologies that will save on labor, and also looking at the amount of water that the technologies consume. The water pan is used to store water during the rainy season so that the water can be used during the dry season when there is no rainfall. This way the farmers are able to do irrigation during the dry season, and this way they are able to increase their production, and this results to an increase in their income.
So what is the starting point for constructing a water pan?
If you want to excavate a water pan, you start by looking at the size of land that you want to irrigate and what crop you want to grow. And then from there, you get the amount of water that you require for 3 months, that is 90 days, during the dry season. So that way, when you get the amount of water that you require, then you're able to generate the measurements of the pan that you're required to excavate. And then the measurements of the pan are the ones that determine the size of the liner that you need to use. The liner is basically used to reduce seepage into the ground.
There are two options for the design of the water pan. Ideally, it can either be rectangular or square-shaped. The storage volumes of water pans are county-specific because there are factors to consider such as evaporation rates, crop water requirements, and method of water application, which varies across counties. For instance, a farmer in Machakos County irrigating a quarter-acre of land would be required to store about 480 cubic meters of water, while one in Nakuru County is required to store about 420 cubic meters of water, assuming that both ponds will have no other source of inflow apart from runoff water.
As you can see from this pond, we normally have the top dimensions being longer than the bottom dimensions, so that we have a slope running from the top to the bottom. This way, we increase the stability of the pond in such a way that even if the pond is full of water, it does not easily collapse. The other reason for wanting to be very careful with how we do the slope is because we want to have as minimal evaporation from the water pan as possible. If you look at this area, you can see that it's very dry. So we do not want the amount of water that is getting into the pan to evaporate away.
The farmer is also able to get guidance on the costs involved in developing the water pan.
The costs involved in the development of a water pan include the excavation costs, which could be manual, or maybe you can use an excavator, but the manual one is cheaper because liners are of different costs depending on the quality and the thickness of the liner. And most of the liners that are available in the market range from 0.3 millimeters to 1 millimeter. And going by the cost, the thicker one is more expensive than the thinner one.
Initial capital expenditure for a water pan designed to irrigate a quarter-acre of land would cost a farmer between 50,000 and 200,000 shillings, depending on the liner thickness and the method of excavation. Farmers may perceive this to be expensive, but the guarantee the water pan provides in terms of storage capacity and durability far outweighs the cost of construction in the long run.
Comparing the water pans to maybe storage tanks, the plastic storage tanks or the concrete tanks, the pans are way much cheaper and affordable. And at the same time, if you look at the lifespan of a water pan, it could last for more than 10 years because most of the liners available in the market can last for that period of time. In terms of costs, the development of a water pan could cost even maybe a third times lesser than the cost of the storage tanks.
The development of a water pan sizing app as a decision-making tool by the Smart Water for Agriculture team has made pond sizing and cost estimation much easier. The app is easy to use, it can be installed in an Android phone and currently available on Play Store.
We have developed a water pan dimensions app that can help farmers
from the counties we are working with to determine the dimensions of the water pan and also the cost implications of making this water pan, bearing into consideration the evaporation rates which vary across the different counties. For farmers, whereby the farmer logs onto the app and they input the size of the land they would like to irrigate, and the app auto-generates the dimensions and also the approximate cost of constructing the water pan.
As farmers adopt this efficient way of water harvesting and storage, it will help them increase production from their farms and eventually increase their incomes.
Agenda Big Four ni nini? Ni fomu ya kuweka Kenya lembe to the next level kwa miaka kobole za kukaa. Big Four iko na parts name. FAO, manufacturing. SEO, msosi. UTAT, riba ya afya. NEI ni makeja. Nini ndio inspiration za Big Four? Inalenga kuget manufacturing ita contribute kwa ganji za Kenya. Inadaisha famu zote Kenya kupata msosi. Afya ya Big Four ina target kila msee awai afya insurance cover. Pia ina target kubuild keja 500,000. Big Four itatuwai nini? Manufacturing. Big Four itafanya GDP contribution ya manufacturing isonge. Tutakuwa kwa list ya countries top 50 zenye ziko rahisi kudo biz now. Worksmita moja zitajipa. Mapeni za investors toka Mayolo zitagrow kutoka mita so 6 to 2 karibu NEI. Msosi. Wakulima wataongeza ganji zao. Bei ya keroma isipite more than nusu ya salo ya mapato ya raia. Works karibu 700,000 zitajipa. Kupunguza wadhi hawana dema by karibu nusu. Kuongeza contribution ya agric kwa GDP. Kupunguza watoi wana ugonjwa juu ya kutodishi by kitu half. Afya. Ita help kutokulipia hosi for services crucial. Itapunguza wadhi kutumia ganji zao directly kwa mahosi. Makeja. Big Four itapunguza bei ya wadhi kubai makeja by almost nusu. Itapunguza bei ya kubuild makeja by 30%. Job 300 zitajipa kwa sekta ya MJE. Itapunguza upungufu ya makeja kuwa cheap. Ita increase contribution ya construction kwa sekta ya MJE. Nini itasaidia Big Four kujipa? Kumaliza uradi zilianzishwa, kuimprove security, ndio kupiga corruption war na kufanya civil service iwe accountable, kuweka service zote za gava ziwe mtandaoni, kuweka bei ya nare au masti na waba iwe affordable, kuimprove skill ya mayouth kwa areas za matechnical. Ni kina nani watakuwa involved kwa Big Four? Ni wera ya gava ya national na za county, ma investors na madonors.
employment to the society. I'm trying now to see those who are less fortunate. I'm training them for free here. Like now they are outside now. They are outside doing practical works because they are trained here. They can't work well here because these are the people you've been with them in class. So when practical, they can't do well. So we send them outside.
He agrees that there are a lot of job opportunities around. It is just a matter of knowing your passion and strength.
If you have a technical skill on the same, that is, you have a mechanical skill in you, you have it on. Because you can even work when you don't have tools. You can hire some tools for the specific work that you are doing. So by saying there is no job and you want to open a garage, very simple. Just work, have some spanners, then you can set aside somewhere. You can start by one car. And then from there, others will come if your work is good. If you have the knowledge of what you are doing. Employment is all about a term, but you can employ yourself in any way. If you have a passion on anything, others have passion on beauty and whatever beauty. You can go to where you can be trained on the same, and then you can start your company from the scratch. As little as what you have can start offering you a job.
He believes he offers the best quality.
Cheap is always expensive. Go for a professional work, you won't regret.
I've known Anthony since 2013. After I cleared college, that's when we met, and since then we've been together. My daily motivation is waking up in the morning, knowing that I have work to do, knowing that I have a problem to solve, and knowing that I have to make a client happy with his car performing at its best. Some of the challenges we face when it comes to vehicles is that you may encounter a problem, you try to figure out what it is, and you come short of ideas what to do. But with the team that we have here, we get to exchange ideas, we get to know what the problem is, and we diagnose it. At BMAX, I do mechanical work, from the engine to the gearbox to the suspension of the vehicle. No one will tell you, go and start. You have to start it yourself. Get up in the morning, say this is the day, I'm going to do it. You may be studying something, but due to lack of employment, you stay at home not knowing what to do. But if you think outside the box, you'll be able to come up with an idea, you may be able to start your own business, and you'll be part of the development of the economy. When it comes to studies, I studied aeronautical engineering, and after some time, because I love cars, especially the Subaru, I decided to come into this mechanical path because mechanical engineering and aeronautical engineering, they are closely related. So mixing them together, I find it easier. I understand the thermodynamics of the vehicle. I understand how the vehicle works and how the engine operates.
This week on the Farms of Africa, I am in Gaishajiro, Kagumoine village here in Moranga County, and I am curious to find about this Cabro breed of a pig.
Caboro is a mix of two breeds, which are red race and range white. They grow fast, they put meat quickly, and they are disease resistant.
So, join me as I meet Mr. Johnson Getau, the founder of Moranga Landrace and Cabro Pig Farm.
That's this Thursday, 8 p.m. on the Farms of Africa, only on Fanaka Television, where we are strictly business.
Yes, kwa majina naitwa Jogosh and leo tuko ndani ya Lang'ata na nimepatana na jamaa anaitwa Jemo. Wewe Jemo, inakuwaje mdomo yako?
Salama sana.
Uko fiti?
Niko salama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ambia mafans wetu je, jina lako na biashara unapiga?
Okay, kwa majina yangu kamili naitwa James. Na mtaani wananiita Jemo. Biashara yangu nauzia ma sports. Ama kwa mtandaoni watu wanitaka Jemo Sport Gears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. So in short anauza sports gear. Ukikama hapa Lang'ata yeye ndio kusema. So tungependa kujua ulifikiriaje kuanza hii biashara?
Okay, nilikaa hivi nikafikiria biashara la ile squeeze na trade. Kitambo yani huko ngana biashara ya ma sport gear sana. Hii biashara sana ilikuwa ya harami sana. Hizi vitu zimeanza kutrend kutoka 2010. Nikafikiria ni kama kuna vitu najua kuuza zinaweza kuzika haraka na zinaweza kutredika haraka. So nikaona I can start with the least money I can. Na nilianza na kitu kama only 5,000.
5,000. Kuanza
biashara yenyewe nilianza na 10,000. Na nilikuwa nimeanza na biashara bereni ya kama ya jeans, lakini watu wakaanza kunichange minds, wakaniuliza Jimo, unaweza tuuzia hizi manguo za gym? Alafu mali niko kulikuwa na mali kuna gym yenyewe. Sasa nikaanza kwenda mtaani, nikafikiria vile naweza kama kuna hii idea.
So ulikuwa umeanza na jeans?
Nilikuwa nimeanza na jeans by the way. Na nilikuwa mtu wa kuzurulisha tu kawaida nini.
Wow.
Nilianza na kadhaa mbili, tena kidogo ikafika 5 ndio nikaanza biashara mimi mwenyewe. Alright.
Nice. Yeah. So unajua pengine umesema jeans watu hawakuwa wananunua ama walikuwa wanakaa kabla wanunue. Unajua shida ya jeans ni mtu ukivaa kwa wanaume, wacha tujiseme. Sisi ukivaa jeans inaweza koga wiki moja. Is there any reason ulifikiria kufanya jeans?
Jeans ni kitu moja. Unajua jeans ukivaa jeans kama saa hii, jeans lazima ikuwe inakutosha. Na jeans lazima utembee na ile fit, lazima shida ukipata mali ya msee kupima. Lakini sasa kama ni vitu kama hizi, take an example, hizi spandex things kama hizi ma tight. Hii tuseme kama wewe ni waist yako wewe ni size number 8, 10, 12 kuendelea. Hii unaweza usia kila sana. Kuna hizi size zingine tunazitanga size 6, 7, 8. Lakini nguo kama hii ni size 42 kuendelea. Kwa hivyo mtu ako size 45, mtu ako size 38 bado itamuingia. Lakini jeans kabla upate mzee atapata na inamfiti, kwa hiyo nguo inamsumbua. Lakini sasa hii ni easy to go. Nice. Hiyo ni fiti. Now ningependa kuuliza, umekuwa ukifanya hii biashara for how long? Kutoka hiyo time ulikuwa unazurulisha up to now? Okay. Nilikuwa na biashara nyingine hapo mbeleni ya nyama butchery kidogo.
Jemo, umeuza mpaka nyama?
Nauza nyama. Sasa nikatoka,
ningekupatana na wewe kitambo.
Sasa nikatoka hapo nikakaa store ya nguo. Hiyo idea nilikuwa nayo kutoka kitambo actually. Nilianzia hiyo biashara back 2000. Tena nikastopisha nikaenda biashara zingine. Hiyo sasa baadaye yani vile hii place yetu imekuwa na opportunity, kaona kuna barabara zinajengwa nini, alafu nikaona kuna opportunity ya gym hapa, nikasema niweke kazi ya gym. So tuseme hii ni mwaka wangu ya 3 tangu nikuja hii place.
Na tukifika historia maybe mtumba kubaniwa and that, ama hiyo iku affect?
Sidhani kama mtumba inaweza baniwa.
Nice. Highways.
Juu tukiangalia Kenya population, tuseme
sisi wote ni mtumba.
80% hata vile mmedunga sasa hata mafans
ni mtumba. Watu nguya zimedunga mtumba. Anyway, ni fiti, true. Then the last thing about kanjo, unajua kanjo saa zingine uhemesha watu sana kwa biashara. Ama hapa
kanjo tuseme yani kanjo hoja niseme kila kitu bora tu kinatakikana kama
uko nayo
nazo hakuna shida.
Nice.
Pia inategemea na lugha.
So lazima pia biashara ikuwe safi.
Lazima ikuwe safi. Kitu kwanza hizo ma license lazima ukuwe nazo kawaida tu yani. Ndio itakangi story.
Juu watu wengi tunataka shortcuts.
Watu wanapenda shortcuts. Actually kuna biashara zingine zitakangi vitu mingi. Hii target barua ya health. Kinatakikana hapa sana ni barua tu yani ya busy.
Actually hapa ndio watu wanakuwa healthy. Hakuna haja unakuwa size ya kila msee.
Size ya kila mtu. Hata size yote tu
kila mtu ameangaliwa.
Kabisa.
Nice. Yes, kumbuka biashara mtaani it's only on Fanaka TV.
Yeah. There you are. Manjugu.
Inaweza ama iwezi?
Inaweza.
Lakini ni kadogo.
Kadogo ziko sawa. Hili nitaka waist jacket hiyo sasa. Cheni kuchezea ukaone.
Nini ama?
Inataka sosita hiyo. Sosita ya.
Unajua hapa nitatoka bila pesa. Sasa kofia ndio hiyo.
Mali ndio safi. Hebu nikuonyeshe ingine hapa ya mwisho, nikuonyeshe mali ingine. Dakika moja tu.
Unasikia lugha ya biashara? Kamoja, hapo inakaa vizuri kupiga trouser. Nitaenda hivyo mpaka usikie nitakuwa viatu.
Haya. Nitakuchomolea hii. Tena kuchomolea ama hii. Bodonga hii. Dunga hiyo mali cheki vile.
Tunashikia hapa. Hapo kuna mali mtu wangu.
Mali ziko, mpaka hii ni Calvin. Naiona. Cream.
Acha tuone. Unajua nilikuwa naogopa kuja hapa, nilikuwa nadhani ni kwa jirani. Lakini kumbe Jemo amefungua branch nyingine na hapa ndio
nifungulie. Yeah, unaona hiyo mali vile imekuingia fiti sasa. Ile design ndio uone. Mali hata usitoe. Yule huko tu.
Ile.
Tamtenda nasema umekaa hivi.
Hii inakuwa ngapi?
The same price, tunasema tu bei moja. Namba 6.
Huyu kijana si atakosesha warembo amani. Inakuwa inaweza. Hii basi inabeba.
Hiyo inabeba. Roho safi.
Inabeba na hiyo kofia.
Yep. Kuna madesign kadhaa. Hizi ni viatu light, tunaweza kimbia nazo. Kwanza hizi kuna luminous green poa sana. Ama kama ni for normal, hizi vitu zina trend, hizo ma blood kama hii A6 ni poa sana. Kiatu safi ya kukimbia hiyo.
Kwa mtu anafikiria kuanza biashara, probably sitaki tuambie una make how much, but nataka kujua utupatie range ya turnover, let's say per day. Mtu akichapa kazi fiti anaweza ndio between ngapi na ngapi on a bad day on a good day.
Okay. Okay, inategemea na biashara yako kenye umestart nayo. Mtu kama mimi uende ina bulk things, mfungulia mabells na nikifungulia mabells yani sitasema na mimi mwenyewe vile na kila mimi upata.
Hata hatutaki useme. Tunataka tukupatie range.
Kwa biashara ya nguo tuseme ukweli. Kuna watu upata kama watu wanaonanga wasokurudisha hivi ni secondary things. Hawa sio kosangi kama kafitina ndio kadhaa mbili. In a day na kuna wazo wengine hata za usamba.
Kwa hivyo huyu mtu ina wiki ametengeneza 10k.
Lakini kumalizia story kwa ama kuweka ina point. Inategemea na variety yako ile uko nayo. Kuna customer anataka ile ikuwe one stop place. Kama ni vitu kama hizo zangu nauzanga za sport gears. Ukuwe na kila kitu kuanzia gloves, mtu anataka vitu za bike, mtu anataka vitu za hiking, kila kitu za swimming, ukuwe nazo. Hapo utatengeneza poa sana. Hata ukitaka hata za 7 za 8 za 10 na day unaweza make. Wow.
10k in a day. What are we doing with our lives? Oh, nice. Now, kufika hapo kwa 10,000 in a day. That means in a week hiyo ni kama 50,000. In a month hiyo ndio inahitajiki. Nataka uonge na wasee msi yako mahali amesoma, then amefika place kutafuta job. Haiko. Na kama iko anaona ni kama mlete ido enough. Unawezaje ambia mseka huyo regards to biashara?
Hizi biashara mnaonanga hata mkiangalia duniani hata watu wako na pesa kabisa, hata Maure so nini hata kina Bill Gates. Biashara ni kitu ya maana sana. Biashara wacha nikwambie kama saa hii. Kuna watu sasa hivi wako msali maliza makampuni. Sawa, majob ziko na kuna zingine majob za zingine unapata. Ama unaweza kaa sana kabla upate job unangojea. Anza ka kitu. Kama mimi nilianza tu na kadhaa mbili na sasa hivi niko mali niko. Lakini sikungojea ati nilisoma ati hiyo nini bla bla. Ifika point sasa mpaka sasa hivi hata sifikiri kuandikwa na mtu sasa. So usidharau kazi yote. True. Business ndio kila kitu mimi nikimwelezea. Yaani biashara ndio kila kitu. Anza hata kama umeanza na dhao mbili. Anza hata kama ni kazi ya kusurulisha hapa.
Uijenge pole pole.
Utafika mahali. Utasikia uko mahali umepata hata kama ni kashop mahali kwa mall na unaendeleza biashara yako. Utaenda fast.
Nice. Asante sana Jemo. Unasikia vijana kuna wase hata sisi kwa taaluma yetu mtu anakuja anakuambia sitaki kufanya auditions, nataka tu unitie show. Lazima usukumane. Unasikia ulianza na dhao mbili sasa hivi msee anachezea ligi kubwa. Nimeshukuru sana Jemo. Na kuna kitu tu fanya kwa hii biashara mtaani. Kila mahali tunaenda lazima tununue kitu. Sasa mtu wangu tusikuje tu hapa
mali safi
tupige kayamba.
Ngoja nikutolee. Ama nikuchagulie.
Nichagulie hapa.
Kumbukango ulikuanga la ng'ata.
Nataka ya kuficha white kidogo.
Umechukua hii kwanza.
Hadi junior ng'ata. Wacha nichukue hii M.
Sawa. Kama unapenda hiyo.
M meaning mine. Haya news hii akina usinipige. Uliniambia uko na lugha ya biashara usinipige Jemo. Haya ni news hii.
Hizi kofia zote tunafanyanga si nyingine. Nyingine ni shilingi. Ukinipatia bobine ni sawa. Hata sitakugonga na kufanyia kitu uzanga.
Hiyo shilingi 4. Haya nimenunua. Umesikia wenyewe ni shilingi 4.
Shilingi 4.
Niko na 10 shillings. Naenda kutafuta change.
Shilingi 4 ni shilingi tafadhali. Usijaribu kugeuza lugha hapa. Nipatie shilingi 4.
Asante sana Jemo. Nitakuwa nikikujenga. Unachukuaga na simu?
Simu pia baadaye. Ukitaka paybill number, ukitaka nini?
Umejipanga hivyo Jemo?
Umejipanga hivyo.
Kwa hivyo biashara, unajua sisi tunafanya biashara kienyeji.
Hapa na M-Pesa, ukitaka withdraw unaweza withdraw hapa na M-Pesa.
Yako
yangu.
Ni nini ufanye Jemo?
Na hakuna kitu sifanyi. Kila kitu ni
perfect. Lakini kila kitu ni bidii, si ndio?
Kila kitu ni bidii. Lianza mahali sasa hakuna sekta siwezani na.
So tucheze na baby lama tucheze na wewe.
Hata unaweza withdraw, niko na base yangu ya M-Pesa hapa kando.
So tuende hapa na.
Yeah, exactly.
Tutaenda hapo.
Tutaenda tu hapo tutachukua.
Haya, so nimeshukua ina shilingi nyingine. So nataka kuna msia kwa busy imekwama. Nataka umwambie kitu. Akona busy yake imekwama. Huyu ashaanza. Huyu anajua kile anataka but inafika place inakwama.
Unafaa uangalie zile maili zenyewe zina challenge. Kama ni test ile customer ufike kitu, customer attack. Usikufe lo. Kama ni biashara yako, kama ni shop yako vile inakaa, kama ni kuifanyia renovation kidogo, change kidogo. Na kama ni kuimprove, kama ni kutafuta test nyingine, kama vile ninakwambia mimi kuna mahali nilifika niko na biashara yangu ya majinsi ikiwa inaenda. Nikakuja nikachange nikaenda kwa matights. Jaribu kuchange ama kutena ile kitu inaenda sana. Hata kama ni biashara ya nyama, ukisikia customer anatoroka kama ni nyama wanapendanga sana, tafadhali endea. Hata kama unajua nyama soft ni gani, uko mwenyewe usiku na tuma kazi, jiendee mwenyewe uweze kujua ni nini unapika nyama unasikia vile hii. The same case applies na hizi nguo. Ende ile kitu na trend, baki nyuma. Lazima mtandao ilikaa.
Tukitaka kupata Jemo tunakupata aje?
Mimi ukitaka kunipata utanipata kwa Jemo Sport Gears kwa Facebook
Jemo Sport Gears.
Jemo Sport Gears.
Haya, mtafute pale Jemo Sport Gears, tuko ndani ya Lang'ata na hapo watu biashara manzee wameivisha. Ni biashara mtaani ama vipi? Waambie ni biashara mtaani.
Biashara mtaani.
Hii ni biashara mtaani.
Hii ni biashara mtaani.
Kabisa. Ladies and gentlemen, niwakumbushe kwa majina naitwa Jogosh na kumekucha, ndio maana nimekuja kutengenezwa kucha. About to nail it. Niko ndani ya Trend M Beauty Parlor, ukipenda salon services ziko hapa, yani kuna vitu mob. Tupatane na Mili. Sasa Millicent,
yes.
Uko salama?
Niko salama sana.
Asante sana kutukaribisha hapa Trend M ndani ya Lang'ata, si ndio?
Yeah,
nimekosea?
Iko Lang'ata.
Kabisa kwa barabara. So ningependa utugusie. Naweza nitengeneza kucha?
Kabisa.
Tukipiga story.
Tunaweza chapa story.
Yes.
Acha kuogopa.
Haya, so tungependa kujua biashara yako ulianza when?
Biashara yangu nilianza 2006 February. Yes.
Mpaka unakumbuka mwezi?
February 14.
Valentine's. That's why leo umevared ama leo ni bahati?
Leo ilikuwa kibahati.
Nice. Thank you so much, Millicent. Asante sana kutukaribisha. Now, what have been your challenges probably from then kutoka then mpaka saa hii?
Challenges ni mingi sana. Especially maji. Kwa hii kazi tunafanya maji ni kitu cha muhimu sana. Unakuta saa zingine maji hayakuji. So una need to buy water kwa hizi matankers. Saa zingine ni 4,000 na inawezi maliza siku 3. So tukisema inatumika na at the end of the month kanjo anatuma bill. Na lazima ulipe hiyo bill. Challenge nyingine pia ni stima. Stima zimeenda juu sana. Saa zingine unakuta it's very expensive. Saa zingine unakuta mwanzo wa mwezi unaweka stima lakini ikifika katikati inaisha, na ukiangalia flow ya kazi si ati imekuwa mingi sana. Juu of late pia unajua kazi pia salons ni mob, kazi imeenda chini.
Nice. No, because mchiki uko na Samsung ile uko na kinyozi pale mchiki ka M-Pesa. Ulianza hivyo?
Si kwanza hivyo. In fact 2006 February nilianza na salon side moja kidogo sana. In fact hata mahali ya kunyoa ilikuwa shida. So customer wakikuja kunyolewa walikuwa nasimama nje wanangoja. So kama ni next unamuita akiwa amesimama hapo nje. Hata mahali ya kukaa waiting area hakukuwa naye.
Yaani mtu amekaa nje anaweza kunyoa nje. Mtu anakuambia anakuja alafu anaenda.
Wanakuja wanaangalia, unajua so ako next. So ukimaliza na ule uko naye unamchukua hapo nje.
And what kept you going? Most of us tunaanza biashara alafu nasikia kidogo unakula stock unasema wacha ikae.
Hapana, unajua hii kazi ilikuwa kwa akili yangu kutoka kitambo. Hata wakati nilimaliza shule nilikuja nikajaribu kwenda college nyingine, lakini nikasema hapana, wacha nifanye ile ilikuwa kwa akili yangu. Nikapata nyumba. Unfortunately enough nilikuwa nafanya around the place. Nilikuwa nimeestablish clients. So wakati nipata nyumba nikachukua tu, nikaanza ikiwa kidogo, nikaendelea hivyo na nilikuwa na wafanyikazi kama 5, lakini tukaendelea kupik. Sasa hii sina regret kabisa.
Nice. Na probably nikikuuliza because tuko na pia I believe kuna salon zingine but maybe hakuna yenye imefanya fit hapa around kama yako. Ni vitu ngapi ukigusia ambazo zimekukeep afloat kuweka milioni unasema mimi by the way ABCD kama singefanya hivi singekuwa hapa niko. Ni vitu gani hizo?
Okay, challenges ziko saa zingine hata unaweza kuwa una capital lakini kuna vitu zinakuja kwa market sana. So unajaribu kukimbizana nazo. Ukishakimbizana nazo uzilete hapa watu wakishajua unakuta unajulikana. Alafu kitu mimi ilifanya nikajulikana pia nilikuwa nimekaa kwa industry hapa for long. Watu walinijua.
Nice. Wow. Beautiful. And umeniambia ni kitu ulikuwa ukitaka kutoka kitambo. So you knew ndio kama unataka.
After venye nilimaliza form 4 1993 hiyo ndio kitu ilikuwa kwa akili yangu. Though nilijaribu kufanya kazi nyingine lakini ilikuwa kwa akili nikajaribu.
Ni kitu nice. Unajua wengine wetu unaendelea hivyo unasikia mzazi amesema especially time yetu kigrow up nataka ukue roho kama kijana fulani. Sasa unafanya course ya mzazi ukishamaliza sasa ndio unaanza yako. But it's so good kusikia. But kama kuna kitu ya maana sana umesema it's about kufanya kitu mtu anapenda.
Hiyo kitu nilipenda na wakati nilienda nyumbani nikaongea na babangu na mamangu walini support. Wakaniambia go for it. Yes.
Nice. Wow, beautiful. Now nataka kuuliza juu maybe huko nje kuna mtu haja decide two people. Kuna mtu mmoja haja decide ile kazi anataka. Nataka advice ya mtu na pia nataka advice ya mtu amedecide anataka hii kazi. Advice ya watu wawili.
Ule anataka
ule anataka hii kazi na mwenye hajajua bado.
Hajajua maneno hii kazi. Okay, ningependa ku advise mtu tuseme hata mimi niko na employees wale wako under me. Sasa zingine kuna wakati mtu anakufanyia kazi for some time lakini wakati wake ikifika akipata mahali anajiestablish unamwacha agrow, unammentor. Unajua akishaenda aende hakuna shida. Hiyo haina shida kabisa kwa sababu
shida yetu inakuanga kufungwa, unataka tu
huwezi funga mtu. Unajua kuna wakati inafika huwezi funga mtu. Akitaka kutoka tu atatoka. So nasemanga ni vizuri hata mtu akijiestablish na akienda mentor watu wengine at least watasemanga alitoka kwa mili.